mic check so we can do all three of them right now, actually.
Oh.
So hold on before you go. Is your mic downstairs? That's why. Okay. We'll get Kevin figured out on there.
Yeah,
but
he'll be fine.
yeah, we should be good. All right. We're still working on it. Yep. So yeah, there's the big N going across. There's a gap in the N. Where did the gap come from?
The girl fell down.
Is that what happened?
I don't know.
All right. Where'd my script go over there for when we get to that? Yep, we're going to need that at some point. That's the Alex No Bueno, right? I'm going to end up saying it at some point.
I would hope so. That's a line that writes itself.
Good. Okay, so we're good.
We respect Michigan Tech a lot. And I really do respect, what they've done now. I don't like them at all. Whereas it's a big game, a rivalry game in terms of how everybody maybe talks about it and thinks about it, we still have to focus on ourselves.
Michigan Tech tussle, and Northern Michigan will receive the opening kickoff here, Dave Ellis, as we get a good look at the fall colors outside the Superior Dome here on a actually pretty nice weekend, to be honest with you. That cold snap and things turning pretty nice over the last few days, but why not bring the game indoors, right?
I almost feel bad that we're not outside today, but what a great look there in the Central UP as we bring you inside Northern Michigan's signature building here just off of the end of 3rd Street near the Presque Isle intersection. Northern Michigan in the all green as the home team today, coming in, like we said, off of that win last week at Roosevelt. Michigan Tech at 5-2 had a tussle with Ferris last week. The #1 team prevailed in that one, and the injury to Alex Bueno might have been the more important thing, long-lasting, coming out of that for Michigan Tech. But we won't see the Husky quarterbacks right away. It'll be Northern Michigan getting the opening kick. And Shane Richardson told us before the game it was a great week of practice around here this week.
Well, I can't imagine it would be anything else because it's been long enough that, when you wait that long, one of the problems actually might be, Dave, is corralling all of that energy, because you go right from that first win in a long time to, well, now, guess what? Your rivals are coming in from home.
Yeah, he did say that you want to make sure that you want to play with emotion but not be emotional is the drill.
Jarski's got it on the tee here for Michigan Tech. And the Wildcats are back at their own 5-yard line, and we get the 2025 edition of the Miners Cup is underway. Spins to the near side, fair catch is called, and that'll bring the football out to the 25-yard line.
Sebastian Boye pulling that one up. Actually, it's Chris Batley that was back to receive that kick, and both of these teams are going to use multiple quarterbacks today, so we'll see who comes out and sits under center for the first time for Northern Michigan. Will it be right now? I don't think it's going to be Aiden Horde. He's not really active. It won't be Duke Shovald. The question is, will it be Austin Riddle?
And it is.
Trevor Thurkoff will also get a look out there today. So Northern Michigan had no passing yards last week. They will run the ball a bunch, but they're not looking like they're running here, Mark Evans.
Nope, going to go pro set here on this first set from the far hash mark. They're going to give inside. Austin Riddle will. And again, that Michigan Tech defense, if you can start off like that, you're doing just fine. Inside handoff that time to Noah Dobert, a 5'11", 197 redshirt freshman out of Dearborn.
Dobert got the ball a lot last week, and he and Jahai Wood will get the lion's share of the carries back there.
Quick to the line is Northern Michigan. They're going to try and run with some pace here in the early part of this first quarter on their opening drive. Austin Riddle, pitch. Here's Wood, far side, or near side rather than near there. You got about a yard or so. Wildcats trying to stretch that one out. Michigan Tech having none of it.
Coming up on that tackle, you're going to see a lot of this guy today. And Porter Zeman, he is a ball-pursuing linebacker. And the Huskies just reading this to the outside. That's 31 on the inside. No, it actually wasn't him that came out there. They took care of him, and that's something that Northern Michigan's going to have to keep an eye out for. It was Jackson Zachary that made it to the outside and caused this 3rd and long.
3rd and 8, Northern Michigan, inside handoff, and again going nowhere. Huskies right there to sniff it out, so 3 quick and out here for Northern Michigan on their opening drive. Like Dave said, 0 passing yards, so predictability is not the right word here, but I think there's a familiarity with Michigan Tech's defense and what's going to happen here, at least early. So Nick Nora's back to collect the punt at his own 35-yard line here for the Huskies, and all white. Looks like they're coming. And it is a Aussie rules sort of kick that the Huskies are going to let it roll a little bit. And at the 21-yard line, that's where they'll take over. When we come back, we owe you a break. Welcome in. You're watching college football here on TV6.
Huskies on offense. Who's down there at quarterback right now, Kevin McNulty?
Joe Hartlieb out there for the Huskies to start. Dan Metlack told me before the game nothing in practice was dumbed down for the quarterbacks, knowing that Alex Bueno was going to be out for this game as Jake Ruff is taken down for no gain on the Huskies. First play from offense, it was Thursday night when they made the call. No bueno, guys, no bueno.
Oh, he stole your line from you, Dave. There we
me.
go. It's a yard loss, actually. Now, if the name Hartlieb sounds familiar to you college football junkies, my partner Dave Ellis, Mr. Research, went at it.
Yeah, back in the mid to late 80s, his dad Chuck Hartlieb was the quarterback for the Iowa Hawkeyes and still holds the record with 7 passing touchdowns in one game. That was against Northwestern. These days with Iowa, that's like a season.
Hartlieb across the middle. He's got his man at midfield. That's Nick Nora, and he crosses the 45 and down at the 40-yard line. And like Coach Metlack said, nothing to dumb down there, especially when you got a receiver the quality of Nick Nora.
In traffic, too. He came right through a forest of NMU players in the middle of the field. Good protection, the play action holding the linebackers, and just a quick snap throw over the middle. Great job by Nick Nora, picking up good chunky yardage there.
Nick Nora, of course, the former Kingsford Flivver, and his alma mater doing very, very well. We'll get the playoff show picked for tomorrow. We'll see where the Flibbers are going to be.
Had a tough night here in Marquette last night with Ford Richardson and the Marquette Sentinels winning that one by 8. Looks like Marquette will be in the playoffs too.
We'll find that at 5 o'clock tomorrow, but it is a noon start here today, and the inside handoff goes to the outside, and the Huskies throw a stiff arm, but it's going to be first down at about the 12-yard line, 29-yard gain right there.
Jake Roof didn't find room the first time he touched the ball. This time, all kinds of space on the outside, and that is a no-nonsense Michigan Tech run. Get both hands on the ball, follow your blocks. Drew Collins going to the other side, and that one just reading the hole in the middle, got right by Jax Hertel, and that takes some doing. Couldn't make it all the way to the end zone, but red zone possession now for the Huskies.
A little movement there on the defensive side for the Wildcats. Quarterback's going to keep this one. And falling forward is Hartlieb. He's got about 3 yards. And again, I was talking to the radio crew from Michigan Tech here, Dave, and our good friend Josh. And he had a little bit of trepidation going on this one just because of last week. Things didn't go the way the Huskies had hoped they would. It's a road game, but this start has got to make him and the Husky Nation feel pretty good.
We were wondering what the rotation was going to be. That was actually Elliot Larner that took that carry out there. So not even going by possession. They're going play-by-play to figure out who's going to be at the quarterback. That'll be tough for the Northern defense to defend.
So they split 2 receivers up to the top, they do. And roll a man in motion and then back to his plant off the line. Inside handoff again. Nice little run. That's Roof. And one more time, he's inside the 10. Gained a couple. It's going to be third down at the 9-yard line.
This is usually where Alex Bueno would go looking for Drew Collins, the big tight end. But we don't have a book right now on these guys. And it looks like Dan Metlack is shuttling in the plays with the quarterbacks. So Elliot Larner now in the game, the DeWitt product. He's got speed to burn. So let's see if they try to get him to the outside, some kind of an RPO, get him on the right side of the field and use that foot speed.
Got to wonder about that strategy with the quarterback bringing in the plays, how much of that came from Grandpa and Dad. Because that's a very, very, very high school way of doing things. But a timeout's going to be taken by Michigan Tech here. This is a key play here at this time of the day.
Yeah, we're not going to take the break here. Let's stick around and figure out what's going to happen. So the interesting part on that one is usually it's the defense that's confused when you start bringing in quarterbacks. But Michigan Tech not in the set that Dan Metlack wanted to get to there. So not a bad idea early in the game. We've got young quarterbacks who haven't played much. Let's talk it over and make sure on a 3rd and 6 that we're getting into the play that we want to.
And again, a great opening drive here for the Huskies that started just inside their own 21-yard line.
Let's talk to Kevin McNulty down there on the sideline right by the Northern Michigan huddle. Did you hear anything they were talking about down there, Kevin?
Not specifically, guys, but you have to realize they had the opportunity to now set their defense, knowing that it was Larner coming in. Here's Larner back out for Tech.
As you get a look at some of the size of the line there for the Huskies. And they've been pushing these Wildcats back a little bit with 9:44 to go. We're scoreless for the moment, but the Huskies inside the 10 on 3rd down and officially 6. And now a stare to the sideline. And Larner's ready to go. And that's 3 receivers set up top. Clap of the hands, and it's Larner. He's got the speed. He's got the end zone of Michigan Tech with the early touchdown.
Well, what did we talk about? Speed to burn, and he didn't need to burn much of it there from the 9-yard line. Elliott Larner, the DeWitt Panther, whose twin brother plays for the Grand Valley State Lakers. So for the Larner family, that's a lot of travel going on now to make sure that they can see both the boys playing. They were a force in the Lansing area. And Elliott Larner with his second career touchdown, had one earlier this year against South Dakota Moms.
Kucharski to add on the extra point here for Michigan Tech here. With 9:38 to go, it is up. That's money right there. And we owe you a break here on TV6. 7-0 Michigan Tech. You're enjoying college football this afternoon on TV6. Well, if you're a Michigan Tech fan, Dave Ellis, it doesn't start much better than that.
No, first drive going right down the field and coming up with what you need. Elliott Larner, the rush for 8 yards up the touchdown, capping off Michigan Tech's first possession with the ball. It went 6 plays, 79 yards, 3 minutes and 35 seconds.
Batley is back for Northern Michigan. And this is a high pop-up that's going to come to him at about the 9-yard line. And this time they put the return on. Batley up the near sideline, got through. Batley to midfield, and a saving tackle right there for the Huskies. And a great open field tackle by Jimmy Targos, and a 35-yard return for Northern Michigan.
That was the last available tackler to one more step. That would have been returned for a touchdown. But a great start to this drive for Northern Michigan. Started the first one back on their own 28. Much better field position here. You can see the gap. Well, he was almost through. That was the last available guy for the Huskies.
Well, Kucharski was there, but that's not his job.
No, you don't want to hurt your kicker either.
So Northern Michigan, after 3 and out on their opening drive, good field position to start things off. Swing pass to the far sideline. And this is going to go for good yardage out towards midfield, and a quick hitter for 5 yards.
First passing yards for Northern in a couple weeks now. They had no passing yards last week at Roosevelt and did not need them.
Ian Engstrom, the freshman out of Negaunee. This is a very young Northern Michigan team. Ian Engstrom, by the way, is also the #1 punt returner.
Shane Richardson told us before the game he wants to see what the Tech defense is going to give him right now. So they're not afraid to throw the ball. We know they've got a vertical game as well.
Wildcats with a positive gain. They sent a man in motion. That's Engstrom to the far sideline. And here is the quarterback, Austin Riddle, the former Marquette product. Got the edge. Austin Riddle now inside the 30, and he's going to get knocked out of bounds about the 26-yard line. And that is one thing that Northern Michigan has now. First of all, a 26-yard gain, but they have a lot of speed at the quarterback position, and that is something new.
And that was not really an option there. When you saw him get to the corner and tuck the ball, he had no intention of pitching this out. Watch him tuck it away. Yeah, this is mine. I'll take it from here. Good job to turn the corner and took the hit. Huskies knocked him out, but not until after that big gainer.
Wildcats trying to respond, gave up the touchdown just a moment ago. Here's Wood inside, and that has not been there yet. It is early with 8:15 to go here, Dave, but that inside running game, Michigan Tech's ready for that.
Well, that's been the bread and butter for Northern Michigan as they've started to get deeper into the season. So they'll take away what they think is going to be Northern Michigan's strength. And watch on the outside, too. The guys like Dante Bassanisi are going to have to play a lot of man-on-man coverage out there. So they'll be left on an island. The D-backs from the Huskies will be definitely counted on to just do their jobs and not get a lot of help.
Terkoff is in from Menominee for Northern Michigan now, wearing number 9 at the quarterback position. He's also a good runner and is a very good thrower. Hops this one in the air, got a man open. It is hauled in, incomplete. Defended beautifully at the last moment by Michigan Tech.
Nice looking ball there from Terkoff. Put it up where his guy could go get it, but again, that one-on-one coverage out there, it's gonna be tough on those Husky defensive backs. When you've got a guy out there with a little bit of height, that's definitely gonna make it difficult. Northern Michigan just not able to make the completion there. It was Sebastian Boya. But Northern not afraid to throw the ball.
Yep, yeah, you gotta like that look if you're a Northern Michigan fan, because it's been run, and mixing things up a little bit, if nothing else, adds to the entertainment factor. But what a great play defensively. It was a last-minute get there for Terrence Martin. So big play here for Northern Michigan. They are more than likely within Carlin's range, but if you're Northern Michigan, you want to respond with a touchdown to a touchdown.
Yeah, 3rd and 9 is not where you want to go if you're running an option offense. So let's see if Terkoff decides to just go back and put this one in the air.
And he'll look to the sideline quickly again. Now, he's also a running threat. Like we said, Austin Riddle's got the wheels here for NMU, but Terkoff's also another one's not afraid to run. He tries the edge, falls forward, and now it's decision time for Shane Richardson.
Not afraid to go for it on 4th, but 4th and 4, I think you want points here. And put something on the board and make you feel like you got something out of a good drive.
I couldn't agree with you more, but at the same time, Shane Richardson made a point in our pregame conversation on the field to say, and proudly so, I'm going to be aggressive.
Well, it's not exactly Dan Campbell level yet, but 4th and 4, Northern Michigan can pick up for him. Let's talk about it, says Shane Richardson. We'll get an idea of what's going on. Let's go down and talk to Kevin McNulty on the sidelines. He's going to have more on that 1975 National Championship team later on in the show, but they've got a tribute all season long, Kevin, with what they're doing on the helmets on the side of the field.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, guys. The old school Wildcat logo, and it has the 50th anniversary logo on there as well from that national championship. If you look at some of the footage, which we will feature at halftime, you will see that logo on Steve Mariucci's helmet, all the guys back then 50 years ago that won it all. So that's the look for Northern all of this season. I like it quite a bit, the old school Wildcat logo, as we get ready for this big 3rd down coming up.
We've been through a different iteration of that one, I think 3 or 4 times. That's a great look at it, Kevin. Thanks for that. I do like the old look.
I like it too, but I'm also kind of giggling to myself because I see the helmet that Kevin's holding, and it's an actual honest-to-goodness helmet.
Yeah.
You know, good protection for the players. The plastic shells with a pillow underneath that they strapped on their heads in 1975.
You had to be a starter to get the pillow.
Oh, yeah. A lot of improvements on the gear. It is going to be Carlin to try the field goal from 38 yards. Austin Riddle is the holder. And Carlin's had a pretty good career here at Northern Michigan. Spot down, the kick is up, he pushed it right. And there's that curse that people put on place kickers. He's had a great season, pushed it to the right. So the Wildcats moved the ball nicely, Dave, nothing to show for it.
Well, that's going to be frustrating for sure, but you're going to want to build on the positives there. The good return, a couple of good offensive plays, and picking up chunk yardage is going to be important in this game too. I don't think that Northern can expect to run a 15, 16 play drive where you're just grinding it out down the field. You're going to need some explosive plays, and they showed they could do that on that last drive.
So it is Hartley right there, number 7 for Michigan Tech. They've got that 7-0 lead, scored on their opening drive. And a little bit of a jump there from the Wildcat defense, but nothing doing here. And they'll double check things here on this 1st down. Clap of the hand sends everybody in motion. Hartley back, guns across the middle, just shy of Nick Nora. They tried that play earlier, Dave, and hit it for a big gainer. Nick Nora, that one just a little out of his reach.
Same play.
Yeah.
And the open look is there. And once again, Hartley from the gun, just a couple of step drop and right away. There's no read in there. You're going to throw that. He's not looking around for any secondary receiver.
Interesting to note there was a lot more defensive traffic the first time around. And he was unable to make that play. Going to send Nick Nora in motion now. And the clock stops on the incompletion here on 2nd down and 10. Hartley swings it out. Nora dropped this one in the flat. And 3rd down and 10.
Heard a few footsteps out there. Was going to get hit if he did catch that ball. But now a 3rd and long with a young quarterback. You got to wonder now if Northern Michigan wants to bring a little heat here and see what they can do to put some pressure on back there.
And a little bit of a conversation as Nick Nora now will split to the left-hand side.
Hartley 1 for 3 so far, hit that first 40-yarder, but has missed on his last 2.
Nick Nora's in motion again. He is a key piece of this Michigan Tech offense. Draw play to Hartley, and he's going to be up near, and he's got cuts to the left, and he's got more than the first down. Lost the football. It trickles out of bounds.
Well, that was Larner again. The running quarterback lost his shoe on the 35-yard line, but we'll see where they end up spotting this ball. Got it over 20 yards until he coughed it up. They're going to move it back to the spot of the fumble. That will be a 19-yard gain and a first down. There's where he lost the shoe.
There's where he lost the ball.
He's pulled out of there. Good job to get a hand in by Jalen Houston, but not enough space near the sideline for the Wildcats to get the fumble possession.
But that brings Larner in, and both these teams with good active running quarterbacks. It's been fun to watch. And he's going to roll to the right, make that Hartley. We got the shoe back on in a hurry, and Hartley with a great run across midfield and down to the 37-yard line. 23 yards on the gain here. We're down to 6 minutes to go. 7-0 in the opening quarter here in Marquette. And the 2025 edition of the Miners Cup.
Well, the good news if you're a young quarterback is these are easy plays when you're calling your own number.
Yes.
You've got some speed, got to the corner, good little cut back in there to pick up another 4 or 5 yards, but learning from what Larner did, got to secure the football.
Second time into Northern Michigan territory here, and again, it's Larner this time, and the big kid moving forward, trying to push his way through. The Wildcats having trouble bringing him down. And a good strong run in a game of about 7. We'll see where they spot it here, but again, it's inside the 35-yard line now.
Jake Roof did a good job trying to be the decoy there. And once again, it's the switch back to Hartley. We'll see what happens on the outside now, whether Northern Michigan starts paying less attention to the outside receivers.
That's Nora in motion. He's been targeted several times here for the Michigan Tech offense. Clap of the hands. And the give to the right side. That's Roof going around, and he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Wildcats decent pursuit on their defensive left side.
We're going to call it a loss of 1, so Jake Roof not finding a lot of space in there. It's going to be really interesting to see how open the playbook is. This is a manageable spot at 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, much better than 3rd and 10. But now if you're Jack Sertel in the Northern defense, are you going to start thinking about spying whatever quarterback is in there, expecting that they're just going to tuck and run? So watch number 0 right off the hash marks over there. Let's see if he follows along with wherever the quarterback's going to go.
Hartley from his own 33. Guns it near side. Man open. Caught. That's Nick Nora. Got out of trouble. Nick Nora to the 15. And the speed will get him to the 3. Lost the football, and the Wildcats have covered it. Was he down? Yes, he was. Back judge right there on the spot to make the call. And they claim that he was down by contact. First and goal, Michigan Tech.
Looked to me like when he went down and hit his arm on the turf, Huskies going to go fast here to see if they can get it back in before there's any kind of a challenge.
Here's Roof, cuts left. Big pile, may have lost a yard. But now Northern Michigan rather can't do any review on that. So a heads-up play with the Michigan Tech sideline, like you said, get that done quick.
Let's take a look at it ourselves. We're not going to change any of the outcomes on this, but Nora coming through the pile, making that beeline for the end zone, and yeah, he was on the ground first. A good tackle coming back there to keep him out of the end zone by Mitch Larkin, but didn't get the ball out in time.
Spread the offense, and here's Larner straight in, touchdown Michigan Tech, and they take a 13-point lead.
Elliot Larner with a pair already. Alex who?
Well,
I'm sure Alex Bueno is sitting on the sideline thinking,
I
could have done that too.
Well, that's just it. There's no question he could have.
Well, Dan Metlack is a quarterback guru. He played the game himself, and he is definitely a great teacher for these young quarterbacks out there. They look a lot like he used to, wearing that old number 4, which we'll look at a little later on in the game, I'm sure.
Kucharski with the bomb through, and it's a 2-touchdown lead here in Marquette for Michigan Tech.
TV6 does have a long-standing tradition of televising this game between Northern Michigan and Michigan Tech. Let's take you back to show you 1981 at Old Memorial Stadium. That's Steve Hoffman hitting Scott Stevens and giving the Huskies an early 7-6 lead. The Wildcats took over from there. That's Tom Bertoldi looking for Scott Seibel over the middle. He cut through the Huskies defense on his way to a 72-yard touchdown. Northern won it going away 44-15 in a game that featured another big day for George Works. He had over 100 yards and one of his Northern Michigan career record 59 touchdowns for the Cats. The next season, when they played Michigan Tech, he'd score 6 against the Huskies.
A little razzle-dazzle for back in the day, too, on that last play.
And they ended up scoring on that play, too. So, old school, yeah, take a look at it.
Yeah.
Last second, and there's Larner doing the same thing to finish, getting in the end zone. But yeah, Memorial Stadium stood where the Berry Event Center is now. And it would have been a great day to play outside over there today.
We get a better view here from what I can tell. It was still standing when I moved here in the late 90s.
But how about that? That's 44 years ago. TV6 televising games back then from here in Marquette.
Kucharski with the kick, and once again, it'll be Bartley at his own 3. Had a good return the last time out. This time he cuts left. The white jersey's right there. Going to bring him down at the 15-yard line. 13 yards on the return. And it's the second time that he's been brought down by the same guy, Jimmy Targos.
A little further up the field for Jimmy to make that tackle this time.
I know it's only the first quarter here, David. I think it's safe to say the Wildcats have their work cut out for them right now.
Well, you don't want to see this drive come up empty. So for Northern Michigan, this is your chance to not only take a little time off the clock, but get a good productive drive and get some points.
That's Terkoff, and he's going to run it himself. He's got a pitch man. He gives it to him just inside the 30-yard line. And that is going to be Dobert on the pitch. Positive yardage, actually a gain of about 9.
2nd and 1 opens up a lot of things in the playbook here.
I think Shane Richardson's already shown that he's not afraid to open it up a little bit, because it was just ground and pound the last couple of weeks, and already several passing attempts here by Northern Michigan, but they trail 14-0, and we're spinning first quarter with 2:35 to go. Pro set, and it'll be Terkoff again. Pitches, Dobert left side. He's going to have the first down, got the edge, and that's a good gain, Dave, about 13 yards.
I'll give him 7, not quite that many, but
I'm looking at the back stick. But again, if you're Northern Michigan, you just want to be moving the ball right now.
And that's a good way to do it. Terkoff right now is the leading rusher, but Dobert now with 4 carries. They're going to start working the ball more to him, and you got to think that Jahai Wood's going to get his carries coming in here soon too as well. The middle of the line right now, you're going to keep an eye on this play and see if Michigan Tech is getting a push in on the centers and the tackles. Whether or not that's someplace Northern wants to avoid being in right now.
Well, again, that pro look behind them. And it's Terkoff again. This is Wood. Try to get the outside. Got the edge for a moment. Inside the 45-yard line. Took a pop after a gain of about 8 yards.
Yeah, he got banged down pretty hard at the end there, and that did not do anything other than raise the ire of a few guys on the Northern Michigan sideline as Porter Zeman delivered the last blow.
Well, we watched him for a couple of years, and he's not the biggest dude. He's 5'7", 180, but he's shown how tough he can be.
Fully in bounds, it was the landing on top of him onto the white stripe. I think that had a few people talking about maybe there's something else to be involved here.
Second down.
Michigan Tech been offside, but with a gain of 7 or 8 as compared to a penalty of 5, taking the yardage instead of the down. So it will be second down here for Northern Michigan. And this has been a pretty quick moving first quarter here. We're down to $1:40 to go already. Single receiver either side. That's Engstrom in motion, the former Nagani Miner. Inside they go. Wood, he's right at the stick. first down. Indeed, he did. Northern Michigan exclusively with Terkoff at quarterback on this drive.
So far with a QB rating of 71 in the game. That's not too bad.
And staying in that pro set behind him. And comes in motion near side. And pitch, Dobert again. Forward he goes, got the edge, got the first down, gain of 14. And again, Northern Michigan, they moved the ball last time. The problem is end zone or field goal. They missed the field goal last time out.
Like we talked about, explosive plays are going to be key for Northern Michigan. You can get to the outside, you've got to be able to turn that corner. Good job by Dobert to get around, got through the first, the second, not the third tackle, but if you're forcing somebody to run all the way back off of the defensive line like Pierce Miller, who's the leading tackler so far for the Huskies, that's what you want to do.
If they keep it on the ground, more than likely the last play of the quarter. So the man in motion. Terkoff's going to get. Dobert right side once again, got the edge. They've been exclusively going outside. And I take that back. That's not Dobert, that's Tucker Welsh on the carry, number 23. Gain on the play of 11 and another Wildcat first down. Again, they're moving the ball as we've ended the first quarter of play. 3-2-1, 14-0. After one, they'll switch ends. We'll take a break with them right here. You're enjoying college football right here this afternoon on TV6. Now the score 14-0, Dave. We were looking at some of the numbers from the first quarter, and there's one that really jumps out to me, and that's third down.
3 for 3 for Michigan Tech, 0 for 2 for Northern Michigan.
But they've got it first down, and a pitch near side and again. And this is good positive yardage, and the flag flies, and we might get a personal foul or late hit out of bounds, face mask, any number of different things here.
Good.
From the looks of it, though, it is going to be extra yardage here for NMU.
Good foot speed there from Dobert to get to the corner, fighting off that tackle. Chase Koch, the linebacker for Michigan Tech, I think is the one that's going to get nicked with the flag here.
If they don't pick it up, conversation this long, sometimes they will.
There's no foul on the play for a horse collar tackle. Second down.
Sometimes better lucky than good, right, Carter?
Yep.
Get a look at the throw to Dobert here. To another look. I mean, he can't horse collar.
There's no foul on the play for horse collar tackle. Second down.
You can't horse collar when you can't grab. You see the club on his hand?
Yeah. The hand injury.
And I think that's actually what the officials were talking about.
That's a valid point. harder to see with all that white on the clean-looking Husky uniforms down there.
It is a gain, though, of 5 yards. And again, Northern Michigan moving the football, still, though, trailing 14-0. And they go jumbo to the left, the Wildcats do. And it's Terkoff again, pitch to Wood. Wood's trying for the right edge, got the first down, 18-yard line. And another first down for Northern Michigan. And again, a lot of this being done on the ground, a 7-yard gain for the first down.
Well, they've had to, because right now you look at everything's pretty much equal offensively. Michigan Tech, 88 rushing yards, 70 passing. Northern Michigan now 90 rush yards, but just the 5 yards through the air. That's the big difference right now. The Wildcats are getting it done on the ground. Now, second red zone possession, can they get something in across the line?
Terkoff going to give inside. Not a lot there, gain of about 4, but again, now it's that point, Dave, you've been running the edge a lot. That will open opportunities in there.
That's how you set things up. That's how the option's supposed to work. And Michigan Tech, if they don't stay disciplined, you're going to find more pursuit to the outside, and that's when those gaps start to appear in the middle of the field. It's really up to the center of that line, led by Pierce Miller. They're going to have to stay disciplined and stay home, even when the ball is moving away from them to the outside.
They'll bring Engstrom in motion, and Northern Michigan jumped, and that'll back them up 5 yards. It'll be second down and 11.
False start, offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
It's the first enforced penalty of the game. And for Northern, you don't want to get behind the sticks right now when you get down into the scoring areas.
A very apprehensive feel in here today, and it started that way.
Now this is a big possession.
Yes.
Northern Michigan really needs the touchdown here.
Two receivers out to the left-hand side here for Northern Michigan. And Terkoff's going to drop back and look. Now he's got some company there. He's got the edge on the right side. He's up the sideline, and that scramble's going to give him a Northern Michigan first down.
Watching the safeties for Michigan Tech there to see what they were going to do. A little bit of a step coming forward there from Jaden Bolden. Once that happened, after he had to backpedal a little bit, Terkoff saw that room on the outside. If the safety stayed in the middle of the field, he was going to get room to get to the perimeter.
And all of the receivers went deep, which will open that up. If you can escape that man in the backfield, which both quarterbacks for Northern Michigan have the speed to do that, both he and Austin Riddle. And Terkoff this time under center. Set a man in motion to the far side as the clock is stopped. That is Dobert falling forward, and he's right at the marker. I believe he's going to have the first down, so first and goal.
This is where an option offense can really be effective, because if you can make that first guy commit to something, it's all up to you. What's the old saying? Hard step, got to see the pitch. If you can do that, read those tackles on the outside. Right now the Huskies are not putting their linebackers up in to take away the pitch. So Northern Michigan, while that's in effect, you've got to go out and take advantage of it.
Well, again, they look good moving the ball in their first drive. Nothing to show for it. Look good on their second drive. We'll see what they got to show for it here. And they're going to go backwards 5 yards for starters.
Well, the Huskies wanted that call right away.
False start, offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Saw him move his hand over there, and they were immediately pointing across the line to see that's where the infraction happened. 2 straight penalties for Tom Kellen. He's a senior. That's got to feel bad. He's going to come off the field right now.
And probably get a little bit of a side-eyed look as he does. So first and goal now from the 13 here, second quarter. 2 possessions, 2 scores for Michigan Tech. Northern Michigan on their third possession, and he moved again.
Well, it's a different guy, but the same position.
Full start, offense number 2. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Actually call it on the back on that one on Jahai Wood.
Well, he maybe saw his lineman move and took off running. I don't know, but yeah, this is not the way you want to start a first and goal. And now first and goal from the 19. There's a good look at Dobert there.
Short side of the field is single coverage right now.
Terkoff straight back. Looks, waits, guns, corner of the end zone. He's got his man out of the backfield. Dobert, it is, I believe, out of bounds. Yes. The Husky looked like he came down with it. Everybody out of bounds. No, it's Dorbert actually that came down with it.
Boy, Tarakoff stood in and took a hit.
Sure did.
From Ethan Hull, who was in on top of him, and that meant that he couldn't extend that foot out and step into the throw, so it looped just a little bit going into the back there. You can see just not able to plant his feet. And a good battle for the ball back there, but rolled out onto the turf.
I don't hate the play call on 1st down and goal from the 19, but and they'll head back to the ground game. Tarakoff cuts inside. Not a lot there. Just 3 white jerseys to grab him and pull him down. He did get about 5, so 3rd and goal now from the 14-yard line.
Chase Cope was the one that stepped to the inside and did not allow Tarakoff to try to get to the perimeter. Just had to kind of tuck his head and take what he could get there. And 3rd and long right now. Wonder what page of the playbook Shane Richardson is looking in to try to get this converted.
Take a look at Tarakoff right there, the former Menominee Maroon, and some great teams down there.
They still have him.
They sure do, but watched him for a number of years. And again, Northern Michigan moves on the right side. It's been that same side of the field that's been the Achilles heel.
False start, offense, number 67. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
What, the 4th or the 5th? That's the 5th one.
I think 4th, but it's bad enough that we've got to go up to numbers that high to argue about it to get to that point. Now, that back spot on that right tackle, well, that's not necessarily the one who's on the quarterback's blind side. So you think of the left tackles are the ones that want to get that early jump. But this has become a real problem on this drive for Northern Michigan.
And again, this keeps up, then you're backing your kicker up again. Carlin already missed. As Tarakoff moves up ahead, lost his footing. He'll get to the 10-yard line, 4th and goal from there. And I don't think there's any question you got to bring Michael Carlin in.
Guys, Richardson just arguing with the referee on the near sideline here that Tech's defense was saying something to cause the false starts. I don't know where the conversation went from there, but he was referencing something said on the defensive side causing those false starts.
Well, Carlin 0 for 1 here today. This is a 28-yard attempt from the right hash. This one's up. It's a wobbler, but he made it through. And Northern Michigan's on the board. We owe you a break. 14-3 kickoff coming up in just a moment. You're enjoying college football this afternoon on TV6. Nick Nora is deep, along with Jackson Lippert for Michigan Tech. Wildcats on the board, but trail 14-3, and Michigan Tech has scored on both of their offensive possessions here in this first half. Seems like Carlin's been kicking here for 9 years. He will approach, pop this one up, and it will be Lippert at the 15-yard line. Wildcats trying to track him down. They will at the 21, and that's where Michigan Tech will take over.
Just a 5-yard return on that little pooch kick to send it in to the area of kind of no man's land in there. You want to make sure your returner gets up for it, but not a lot of blocking set up. Northern Michigan, good job of pursuing, had 2 on the ball right away. That's a great way to make sure nobody escapes.
So it is Hartley back at quarterback's 22-yard line is where the Huskies will begin this drive in our 2025 edition of the Miners Cup between Northern Michigan and Michigan Tech. He's Dave Ellis, Mark Evans, Kevin McNulty down on the field for us here today, as the give is to Nora on an end around, and he's going to get about 8-9 yards.
Want to get your playmakers involved with the ball, and the drives have started with that kind of deep in cut. The last couple for Michigan Tech. This is the first time they kept it on the ground to start a drive.
I got to admit, Dave, I'm really enjoying the play calling of both of these teams today. This has been a lot of fun. Northern had been very one-dimensional a lot of the times this year, from what we understand. Not so much today. They've been really shaking it up, and Michigan Tech doing what the Huskies do, just mixing it up.
Empty for Hartlieb here.
He drops straight back, and now here comes pressure. He takes a bump, but that's about it. He's got a man in the flat, but this is going to come back. There's a flag in the backfield as out of bounds the 40-yard line of the Huskies, but the flag right there at the 26-yard line, and that's right in the position of offensive holding.
Well, Ethan Champney had room to run if they would have kept that play together.
Holding, offense number 75. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
So they go from 2nd and a yard to about 2nd and 11. And yeah, you could see it right there. The Husky player they both kind of just fell down, but the offensive player is going to get called for that pretty much every time.
Roland Ball was the one who they ended up assessing the penalty to there. But still with the play there, you're going to move it back. It's the spot of the foul with a hold. So it's actually going to end up being 2nd and 12 here.
I'm going to have you look up something in a minute, because a thought just occurred to me about Hartley. Little swing inside. That's not going anywhere. Wildcats able to snip that one out.
Lost half a yard there. So 3rd and long coming up for the Huskies, and they haven't been in many of these today.
Now it's Colby Hindenbach on the reception there out of Paw Paw. Didn't Chuck Hartley wear number 7?
Gonna have to look that up.
And as I say that out loud, I think that might be wrong.
Actually, I think the kicker Rob Houtland wore 7 then, if I remember. We'll check
you're
it.
really taking me back now. What did Reggie Roby wear? Yeah,
A jersey.
Here's Hartley looking, got his man cross, but this isn't going to get very far as they push everybody forward. It's going to be shy of the first down. We might see our first punt for Michigan Tech.
Ethan Champney kind of getting into the forest in the middle there. He's a guy who's very effective on the outside, but you want to start getting him the ball, and if you have to bring him inside to do it. Good job by Hartley, waiting for him to develop. That's kind of hoping everybody else would clear out. But they didn't. Wildcats stayed home and got the tackle, forced the punt.
Lone man back for Northern Michigan is the former Nagani Miner, Ian Engstrom. And he is a very speedy young man. A line drive kick. Engstrom's going to take it and cut left. And great coverage by Michigan Tech. And they'll switch possession. We'll take a break. It's 14-3. Northern Michigan ball. When we come back, you're enjoying college football on 26. Very, very good crowd here today as expected. Of course, the exclamation point is Band Day. We'll have more on that as we get towards halftime, and we'll be able to show you some of that today, too.
That'll be really fun. They've got over 20 bands from all the way from Marinette, from Sheboygan, Michigan. A lot of great band members out here today, and the practice this morning was, let's say, spirited. How about that?
It is the 70th annual, by the way, Band Day here, dating back to 1955, and we couldn't find any footage of that one.
I didn't look yet.
gain of 3 on that first down play.
Watch out, because I might have to go looking for that.
Well, see, I like giving you projects.
That's
challenge.
good. Yeah,
like
middle of the game is the hard time to do
just
that.
jot it down. You'll be all right. Terkoff stays in, cuts left, upfield he goes, and he's out to midfield. And a good run once again for Terkoff of Northern Michigan.
12 on that one. Good job to find the hole in there. The pitch wasn't going to be available, so he stuck that left foot in the ground and got upfield. Good job to drag a tackler or two up the field a little bit too.
Pro set with 3 receivers right. Terkoff again cuts up, found himself a seam. And here's Trevor Terkoff, 25-yard line, tracked down from behind at the 20, but again, moving the football and another 30-yard gain for this Northern Michigan offense.
Great way to pick up yardage. Don't even have to worry about handing it off. Jahai Wood was the decoy in the middle there, and there was all kinds of open field. Once he got to the outside, he saw the linebacker jump up in as Ethan Hull bit on the middle fake. He had to just push him down as the Wildcats sit on the perimeter of the red zone one more time.
You heard me almost call him Tanner. That's the brother. This is Trevor Terkoff. And they're going to give Dobert here 15, 10, 9, and it'll be right at the sticks. Looks like a first and goal again for Northern Michigan, 11-yard gain.
The Huskies have had good effect using the quarterback down in here. Northern Michigan want to use those backs a little bit. That's a one-on-one situation to the outside, and a pretty good job out there by Jaden Bolden to make sure that Dobert couldn't turn the corner.
And straight forward, trying to catch something over the center. Going to get 3 yards out of that.
Wildcats going quickly there, too. That was not a lot of time elapsed off of the play clock.
Well, you see number 2 right there, Jai Wood. Very, very heavily involved in the offense a lot of times. Wildcats, like you said, really using him as the decoy right now.
I mean, he's available to go both inside the tackles and to the outside. So he's got to be accounted for out there, and Michigan Tech is taking some of the attention toward him.
Terkoff fakes the pitch, late pitch, Dobert's in, touchdown, and it's 14-9.
Maybe not. Late flag coming in right at the tail end there. And I'm not sure what that one was. We'll have to wait for the call.
One of the Wildcat linemen right there, a little animated.
No, I think what happened, Mark, they're going to call that a forward pass because the pitch went up the field, and that was already over the line of scrimmage. So this may be an illegal forward pass.
Illegal forward pass, number 9 of the offense. 5 yards from the spot of the fall and lost it down.
That's the big part of that foul right there.
So it's going to be hard to see from that replay angle from the end zone because you're looking at it directly from up top now. The line of scrimmage is the 8. So Terkoff gets to the outside. He pitches that ball when he's on about the 6-yard line.
Yep.
And Dobert is already over the 5.
Yep.
That is a good call.
And not one we were thinking about. So it brings up 3rd down now, 3rd and goal. That loss of down, Dave, is huge.
3rd and long again. And nobody on the right half of the field right now from Northern. They've stuffed everybody over here on the near side with 3 receivers right on the 10-yard line marker.
Terkoff looking, screen here to the near side, down to the 3-yard line, decision time. Here for Shane Richardson, and the Wildcats says again, that's Chris Batley, number 89. Said he wanted to be aggressive, and they're going to kick the field goal here, Dave, with 3:55 to go. The defense held last time.
They did, and that would make it a 1-possession game if Carlin can convert here.
He missed one, he's made one. Both misses, or the miss rather, was from the right hash mark. His other make was from the right. This one on the left hash mark. Austin Riddle is the holder. And flags fly, and that may be good for Northern Michigan because I don't think he made the kick.
Another false start. Shane Richardson out to find out what happened there.
False start, offense number 94. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Right now, it's the Wildcats just kind of shooting themselves in the foot that have really been what's holding them back right now. They've been effective. They've gained a lot of yards already. 188 on the ground already, but just 3 points at the moment to show for it.
And I was talking to Casey Ford, who's done the radio for Northern now for a couple of years, and he said that's kind of been the big thing. You know, it's the timeliness of when something goes wrong. It's never, I mean, there's never a good time, but it's always at almost the worst time. So Carlin to try this one again and reprieve himself. He puts this one towards the uprights, and I don't think he made this one. Yeah, he missed the hook, this one to the left.
So the lead stays at 14-3. We've been talking about this. How long has it been since Northern Michigan took home the trophy in this game, Mark Evans? Here's the answer from Kevin McNulty.
Yes, indeed, David. It has been some time. We take you back to 2009. Yes, the year Captain Sully Sullenberger landed a plane on the Hudson River. Bitcoin was invented in 2009, and Northern Michigan went to Sherman Field in Houghton and came away with the most points they've ever scored in a Miners Cup game. The Cats cruised to a 48-16 win over the Huskies, and that is the last time they got their hands on that Miners Cup. They got a shot here today, guys.
Going to have to be a little more efficient in the red zone if they're going to not necessarily approach that scoring total, but maybe get their hands onto the base of the trophy.
14-3, Michigan Tech had to punch last time they had the football. First time for that here in the ballgame. This is their fourth drive. Scored on the opening two. Hartlieb stays at quarterback here for Michigan Tech. Spread the field a bit, set a man in motion. He'll waggle back to the near side. And they will give. Inside it goes. That's Roof, and he's got maybe a yard or two.
Not necessarily a 2-minute type situation here for Michigan Tech. Each team with 2 timeouts left here. If you're the Huskies, knowing you're going to get the ball to start the third quarter, a score right here would be very demoralizing for Northern Michigan going into the halftime break.
You see number 10, Champney, split out to his left. Huskies going pistol this time. 2:45 to go here. Straight back is Hartley. Complete to Champney and a first down on the far sideline. Stops the clock with 2:37 to go. They'll reset the change and start it back up again.
Ethan Champney had such a great, almost psychic relationship with Alex Freeze, the quarterback last year. So now he's gone through 3 different quarterbacks this year. He's trying to find a way to get that one-to-one connection with the guy who's taking the snaps back there.
But that kind of stability, too, also helps your quarterbacks.
It does.
As they do have a first down, Michigan Tech does. 2:20 to go here till halftime. Halftime's going to be a whole lot of fun. We'll explain after this play. It is across the middle, and there's Nick Nora again. Did he catch it? No, they'll say it hit the turf.
That same in cut going right over the middle and just kind of short hopped it to him. Nora went down to try to pull it off the turf.
Well, it was perfection the first time, and they've missed the last 2.
Now let's see what kind of step Hartley gets into this one, whether he moved right into it, just kind of left it short.
Nora, a nice job of short hopping it, but short hopping it nonetheless.
Different sport.
Yes, if he was playing shortstop, it'd be great. Incompletion will stop the clock. It is 2nd down and 10. And it'll be a run left side for Michigan Tech, and checking back into the ballgame is Elliott Larner. And he gets right up by the chain gang with 2:05 to go. Looks like he's going to be just shy here of the first down.
Larner still yet to attempt his first pass in the game. As he made that
2-minute timeout.
Made that immediate step that was going toward the right and then tried to go back left on that one. Northern Michigan, good pursuit to get back to the corner.
So what did you cook up here for halftime there, friend?
Well, we were going to talk about it later, but I guess we can talk about it right now if you want to. Kevin McNulty's been joining us from down on the sidelines, and he'll have the big feature coming up soon. He's going to visit with one of the most legendary teams from the UP, and we'll show you who that is right after Kevin gets a chance to talk to Shane Richardson coming off the field.
It is also Band Day here, as we mentioned earlier, 70th edition of that. And the estimate was 670 kids.
Well, you're going to get to see a few of them at our halftime. It's got a lot of time to show you some of the kids who've come from a long way here to come and perform today. And One thing I know you were disappointed at is they didn't come in the uniforms today.
Yeah, it's a little different this year. Northern Michigan's fans in uniform. Apparently the high schools aren't. But we'll get a look at all of it nonetheless. But last year was interesting because we were playing guess the high school by the uniforms. And
it'll be a lot harder to do that.
It'll be harder to do today, but the music will be great. Last year, one of the high schools that came up was from Lena, Wisconsin.
They're here again.
That's about a 3.5-hour drive.
And I will tell you, it's a Halloween theme because I saw them rehearsing this morning.
Boo. You're
Funny.
welcome. Yeah. 30 yards for Michigan Tech after the 2-minute timeout. It is gunned far sideline man there, incomplete. Well, you were talking about the throwing game right there.
The first attempt from Elliot Larner, and the Huskies wanted a jump, an encroachment in the neutral zone there, and I'm not sure they didn't have Northern Michigan get away with one there. Now they were 4th and a yard. It looks like Michigan Tech is not sending a punter out there.
Well, they targeted Bryce Kuntz far side, number 9.
They're going to go. They'll bring Hartley back in.
Well, we talk about going aggressive on 4th down. Michigan Tech's not been afraid to do that either. So.
And in their own end of the field, are they just trying to draw them offside? Or will they actually run the play here?
And timeout called by Shane Richardson.
Timeout, Michigan Tech.
Okay, it's on the far sideline.
Timeout of the half.
So not a bad idea. If you had a veteran quarterback, maybe you want to try to draw him off with the count, but it's a lot to ask for a kid who's out there starting his first game today in Hartley.
Yeah, I said Northern on the timeout because I was looking down here at this near side. Shane Richardson was right by the official, and then I saw the official go into high gear. Well, I was one off when I said Chuck Hartley may have worn number 7 at Iowa.
He wore number 8.
He wore number 8.
Now I got to look for Rob Houtland, though, to see if he actually did wear number 7.
So Joe Hartley, the quarterback out of Madison, Wisconsin, the former Edgewood Crusader.
And I can confirm Rob Houtland did wear number 7 as the kicker.
And the fact that you know that makes me want to resign.
You know why? You want to know why I knew that?
All right.
Because he hit something in Iowa football history they just call it the kick. In the number 1 Iowa Hawkeyes versus number 2 Michigan Wolverines, and he had the kick to win the game.
They are going for it straight ahead. It is, look at this, Michigan Tech right up the middle of the field. And this is going to be a touchdown on 4th down. Elliot Larner goes the distance, 60 yards, 61-yard carry. And that, you see that a lot on 4th down, Dave. Teams just spring something and it goes the distance.
Didn't I tell you before the game, this is a kid who's got speed to burn?
Oh, yeah, you were high on this guy the minute you heard he might be getting in there a little bit more.
And he used it right away perfectly. All had one guy to beat the inside. Hertel made one step. We'll show it to you in a second here. And when he made that one little alley available, Larner was through there like a shot.
Extra point is good for Kacharski. And that makes it 21-3.
So there's the hole. One seal block on the inside. He slipped by that defender. Nothing in front of him but green grass and yard stripes. And a vapor trail behind him.
So they take the timeout on 4th down. Thought they might be trying to get Northern Michigan to jump. They line up to go for it. And Elliot Larner, again, makes them pay. And if you want to add a little salt in that wound, like you mentioned, Michigan Tech gets the ball to start the second half.
How about these numbers for Elliot Larner? 7 carries, 107 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And actually, Tarkov on the other side, 8 carries for 99 is just short of a hundo as well. I can't remember the last time I saw a half of football with 2 quarterbacks, each over 100 yards, and Tarkov will have a chance here to possibly get to that mark as well.
Bartley back deep. He is on the top of the screen. Also back there is number 3 is Jalen Houston. Bartley with the big return on his first attempt, or second attempt, I should say, after the first Michigan Tech touchdown. As you can look at Kacharski here to put a toe into this one with 1:42 to go until halftime. And Michigan Tech extending their comfort a little bit at 21-3. And that's going to go out of bounds. So a break for the Wildcats here as they'll get the ball in decent field position.
They will get a nice little jump on this and not have to take any time off the
Kick out
clock.
of bounds, number 36 of the kicking team. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down, Northern Michigan.
I kind of take today's game Dave, almost back to last night's game for Northern Michigan. I'm not seeing anything I don't like. They're just not able to finish right now.
Yep.
That's the difference.
It's all about converting right now, and red zone trips have not been very efficient for the Wildcats, and for Michigan Tech, didn't even need the red zone the last time.
So the latest is 61 touchdown run for Elliott Larner. And Northern Michigan's been moving the ball. They've got a minute 42, but 1 timeout, and that's it. Both teams actually, no, Northern Michigan has 2. I stand corrected, 1 for Michigan Tech. Engstrom in motion here around to the near side. Swing pass near side, tried the reach and catch it off the back shoulder. That's incomplete. And that's not Engstrom, I stand corrected. That is Jake Heemstra. First time we talked about him here in the ball game today.
Not a bad idea there. Actually had a blocker on the outside, so if he could have made the catch, there's a lot of open space out there. Only one Michigan Tech defender in that area. It's Jackson Zachary. So if you can make one move, there was a big gainer available.
Terkoff stays in for Northern Michigan. And he'll drop straight back. A little pressure on him here, trying to get out of the way. Dragged down from behind. He may got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half a yard.
Well, if they give him 1, then he's over 100 yards now. So
there it is.
That stat I was looking for. 2 quarterbacks that each rushed for 100 yards and a half. That is a rarity.
And Terkoff, as you can see, a little gimpy coming up after that play. So we'll keep an eye on that.
He's been getting the majority of the time here as the game has worn on. Terkoff 2 for 5 throwing for just 11 yards, but now a 100-yard gain on his feet.
Straight back. Going to set up the screen. He'll be out of the backfield, and he's going to get most of it, about a yard shy. We'll call that a 7-yard gain. And a timeout taken by Shane Richardson. He's got 1 more after this with 51 seconds to go.
Timeout, Michigan Tech. Their final timeout of that.
Michigan Tech took the timeout. That
Maybe
surprises
thinking they would
me.
get it back.
Perhaps.
Still a little bit of time left there, and
because it is 4th down.
It is. I don't know that this is a situation right now, if you're Shane Richardson, where you want to think about going for it. At 4th and 3, if you give the ball back to Michigan Tech, that's in your half of the field. So probably better to just put the ball in the air with a punt and try to push him down as far as you can, and we'll go to the locker room with no more harm done at this point.
Get a good look in at head coach Shane Richardson with the headset there, the coach on the left.
Kevin McNulty will be talking to him right at the end of the half, heading for the locker room.
You know, it's interesting. You and I talked to him last year, and he has stayed the course with the positivity. You know, he's one of these guys, he's a very, very positive guy when all around him has not been so positive. So I've always given him a lot of credit for that.
Well, I don't think anybody wants to see the program continue to struggle the way that they have. So there was a lot of good feelings last week when they finally got that W on the board against Roosevelt.
We're seeing good things today, but again, Michigan Tech able to get into the end zone. Northern Michigan has not. A bouncing Aussie-style kick that'll be taken, bobbled by Nora, and a big, deep sigh of the breath for the Michigan Tech faithful, but Nick Nora with the quick hands able to fall on that football.
That was, if it was volleyball, that would have been side out because he had more than 3 touches.
Well, they'll take over, will Michigan Tech. 0 timeouts. Watch this here from Nick Nora. A lot of times coaches will tell you that bouncing ball,
1,
stay
2,
away from
3,
it.
4, yep, 4 touches.
4.
So what do the Huskies do here? Got 3 wide receivers out there, and Larner back at the controls.
Well, Coach Metlack has shown many times, either one of these guys, he's willing to let them throw the ball. Like now. Now Larner's going to take off and kind of do what he does with his feet. Straight ahead, got tripped up at the 30-yard line. He'll be shy of he's going to give him the first down, temporarily stopping the clock, and that'll set the chains and put things in motion. And Michigan Tech out of timeouts. They do get the football, as we mentioned, to start the second half. Larner back, looking, not much there. Deep throw, downfield he goes. A lot of contact. Yep. Pretty easy to see from here. That's pass interference. Now, this is not the NFL. It's a 15-yard penalty, but still for Michigan Tech, putting them in much better field position.
Yeah, what happened there with Nick Nora, the pass was underthrown.
Pass interference, defense number 0. 15 yards from the previous spot, First down.
So when the underthrow happened and he tried to work his way back to the ball, that's when the defensive back tangles up with him. That's an easy call for the back judge. Take a look at it here. The pass just coming a little bit short from Larner, who couldn't step into it, and just bumping into it was Jax Hertel. And if Hertel's that far back there, you know Northern Michigan was in that prevent defense.
The other thing, too, about Nick Nora, watching him over the last couple of years, he's a guy that's always open because he just outruns everybody. So approaching midfield, 18 seconds to go. Huskies on first down. Across the middle they go. Swing out of the backfield, and this is a first down Michigan Tech, gain of 11. And they'll stop the clock and spike the football. So now 8 seconds remain.
Well, for Hartlieb, you may have a chance at one throw here. So can you pick up maybe 10, 12 yards and get Kucharski a chance?
Guys, Dan Metlack told me pregame they try to get to the 30 for Kucharski, which would be about a 47-yarder. That would be his range here today. Obviously, end a half. Maybe they extend him a little bit longer.
And remembering, too, thanks, Kevin, remembering, too, that this is indoors. You know, you have 0 elements here. But you got to be able to stop the clock if you're Michigan Tech after this play is over. Nick Nora goes in motion. If they gun for the end zone, that's going to run it. We're pretty much going to run out of time. Here is Larner. Lost the football. That's loose on the turf. Picked up by Northern Michigan as time expires. So now some pushing and shoving in the offensive backfield. Doesn't look like anything's really going to come of that, and now it does as a flag comes flying in as the Wildcat that recovered the fumble. And Jalen Houston is shaken up.
Well, the flag was very late.
Now here's the question, was the play over and time had expired, or is there going to be an untimed down? Depends on the call.
Yeah, because at that point after the
The
recovery.
result of the play is a fumble. There is no foul after the play. This is halftime.
There's your answer.
Yep. So if there's, I've always wondered if there's no foul, why are flags flying all over the place as Houston on his feet and able to get back up. So 21-3 doesn't sound like it, but that was a very entertaining.
There was the push there that we saw
Yeah.
at the end.
That was a very entertaining first half of football. I'm looking for our friend in blue down there.
Well, Shane Richardson's still out on the 40-yard line. So Kevin McNulty's going to wait for him to come back off the field as there's still a little bit of a confab going on there with Shane Richardson and the officiating staff.
I've never seen them wind the clock for halftime, but they just did.
Well, it's 25 minutes long,
Yes,
so you
it
want to
is.
get it going for sure.
It is band day here today, so halftime will be extended. But again, we're going to show you some of that band day today because nearly 700 high school kids joining a rather large Northern Michigan band. So if nothing else, it's going to be loud in here in a little bit.
All right, as he approaches over there, here's Kevin McNulty down on the field with Northern Michigan head coach Shane Richardson.
Shane, what was the conversation there with the officials?
Just trying to coach him up on the pass interference there. I didn't think there was enough to, warrant an actual pass interference there.
What broke down for your defense on that fourth down that turned into 6?
Yeah, I mean, when they bring 14 in, they're freaking running the ball. Like, we should know that, and we got to be able to stop quarterback run.
Your offense has been able to move the ball, not come away with points, only 3 to show for it right now. How do you turn those into touchdowns?
Yeah, we got to. Bad penalties down when we get deep in the red zone. We were just in too much long yardage situation late in the series. So, we're not able to, really get our offense going. We're forced to have to throw it from long yardage situations. So we got to do a better job to get closer so we can give ourselves a chance to put together some of our better plays that we feel more comfortable with.
Thanks, Shane.
Yep, thank you.
Mark, Dave.
All right, Kevin, thank you very much as we approach halftime.
Yeah, Kevin at halftime will take us into the break with a visit with one of the most legendary teams ever in UP sports history, the 1975 NCAA Division II football champion NMU Wildcats, who just reunited a little bit ago here in Marquette, accomplishing a turnaround that no other team has even come close to matching. Their story is coming up right after this timeout. From the Superior Dome in Marquette, you're watching college football on TV6. 21-3 Huskies at halftime. Let's take you down to the field for some of the 70th annual Band Day here at Northern Michigan. Pretty impressive. They've heard almost 700 band members playing the enemy fight song on the field here at the Superior Dome, and the regular enemy marching band, we're hoping they'll be playing that song more in the second half. We'll show you highlights of the first half and talk to MTU head coach Dan Metlack before the start of the third quarter, right after this timeout. From the Superior Dome in Marquette, you're watching college football on TV6. Huskies up 21-3 at the half. Let's show you how they got here with the first half highlights. It started with Michigan Tech's first possession. Going down the field and taking care of business is Elliott Larner. His first action in the first half of the game. An 8-yard touchdown there to get Michigan Tech on the board. Northern Michigan with a chance to get a deep ball down here as they got in the red zone. Not able to pull that one in, and the ensuing field goal attempt was a miss from Michael Carlin. Back to the offense. It's Joe Hartlieb out to the outside for Nick Nora. A little bit of a question here. Did he cough up the ball going into the end zone? We look back at it, his knee was down, he got to the 2-yard line, and from there, Elliott Larner finished it off, his second touchdown of the day. Northern Michigan needed some points on the next drive, so by the time they got back down on offense in the second quarter, it's Carlin from 28 out, hit that one, but only 1 of 3 in the half for him. Northern Michigan had some other chances in the red zone, and this was a killer. Turcoff on the outside, his pitch to Dobert was ruled to be an illegal forward pass, and that meant Northern Michigan had to settle for a field goal attempt, and Carlin could not find the uprights. So it stayed at 14-3, but on the ensuing possession, on 4th down and 1 from the 39-yard line, it's Larner, it's one move, and it is pay dirt. His 3rd touchdown of the half, he rushed for 117 yards and 3 scores. Michigan Tech has that 21-3 lead.
What's that old saying, the numbers don't lie? These numbers are a little confusing as we look at this first half of play. Total yards for Michigan Tech, 280. Total yards for Northern Michigan, 207. Northern Michigan out rushing Michigan Tech, 189-181. But here's where the story starts to develop here, Dave Ellis. 3rd down conversion, Michigan Tech 3 out of 5. Northern Michigan 1 for 6 in that ball game. And again, only getting 3 points on 3 trips inside the red zone will turn any 30-year-old coach into a 60-year-old coach in a real hurry. But we were talking to folks up here during halftime, and there's very little in this ball game to not like. Like we said, both teams moving the football, both teams being very creative, and both teams getting things done. The difference is the scoring, and that is really about it. Northern Michigan just really, the struggles are to get the end zone. They're moving the ball and looking pretty good doing it. Michigan Tech, combination of the big plays and the little plays, and they've been definitely getting it done.
Kevin McNulty on the field waiting for the arrival of head coach Dan Metlack of the Huskies, who has now emerged from the locker room. He's heading over to talk to our sideline guy right now. Here's Kevin on the field with Dan Metlack.
Dan, what impressed you about both quarterbacks in that first half, especially Larner with his legs?
Yeah, I mean, both of them were efficient when we were in there. We missed a couple throws that we thought we had open guys on, but other than that, I like the way they're running the offense right now. Bad turnover before half, but we'll get them calmed down.
What's made your defense so successful in the red zone?
We just stiffen up. I mean, it's we're giving up too many big chunk plays right now, so we'll make some adjustments, right, and try to get that squared away. But too many big chunks right now. We got to get that squared away on early down, so we're not getting down in the red zone.
Good luck in the second half. Mark, Dave.
All right, Kevin, thank you very much. And spot on from Dan Matlack. And yeah, his team's playing very, very well right now.
It'll be curious to see what he does here coming out of the half for me, because Hartlieb has actually, I think, moved the ball as a possession quarterback a little bit better, but he doesn't have the explosiveness that Larner does. And you heard Shane Richardson going into the half. Hey, if we see 14, we know what's happening, what's going out there. What adjustments have they made to take away the feet of Larner? If there's something that they can do right now, Northern Michigan cannot afford to give up another score right now, being down 18 points. That's a 3-possession ball game, and this is not a team that has scored points in bunches. So you've got to be able to get them off the field. A 3-and-out to start the half would be ideal for Northern Michigan.
Well, the way Michigan Tech's moved the football, that might be a bit of an order here, but we'll see, because, again, Michigan Tech with that momentum. Technically, Dave, that was a turnover at the end of the first half from Michigan Tech to Northern Michigan, but the clock was at zeros, so the play was pretty much evaporated anyway. But in the scorebook, that will be a turnover, but very irrelevant as far as the play in that first half between these two. So the Wildcats at home in the green, and that's Michael Carlin. And deep once again for Michigan Tech, Nick Knorr and Jackson Lippert. And they are both lined up at about the 7-yard line. Carlin approaches and boots this one on the ground, and the Huskies are just going to, well, he did not have his knees down when he had possession of the ball. So a heads-up play by the up man here for Michigan Tech. And the Huskies get a decent return on this one out with Kyle Gedeby on special teams. He hit the ball, was on his knees, wasn't touching the ball, picked it up in a smart play to keep running. It gives the Huskies good field position.
Outside the 35-yard line, that's kind of like somebody kicked the ball out of bounds on you like happened in the first half. So for Northern Michigan on defense, Jack Sertel had just 4 tackles in the first half. And we saw him back deep in coverage a couple times. You see that little bobble there, and a good job to pick it up and advance the ball up the field. And to start the half, Michigan Tech's quarterback rotation goes back to Hartley. No, it doesn't.
It's Larner, yep, and he gives near side in a good, solid run by Ruff.
Jay Group just his 7th carry of the ball game, and he averages a lot bigger number than that. When the quarterbacks are doing the job with their feet out there, it's not as incumbent on the tailback to be able to go out there and put the feet down. You can see waiting for that hole to develop there too. Good pursuit by the Northern Michigan defense to come down the line and not let that go for longer.
It is 2nd down and 5 after the gain out to the 40-yard line. Larner, design quarterback run, cuts to his right with his speed. He's got the edge, and down the sideline, cuts back in play. 1st down at the 38-yard line. And Michigan Tech's running offense picking up right where they left off before halftime.
I mean, the chain gang's got to be getting tired over there chasing him down the field. He's been going so far. That's another quality run in a very tight space over there for Larner. Good job to keep his feet moving, keep going down the sideline, and not step out of bounds and pick up a couple extra ones there. That's a gain of 24.
Yeah, he got out of the arms of Luke Dimiani for Northern Michigan. It's inside Wildcat territory again. Our Michigan Tech leading 21-3 right now, and it's going to be a keeper again for the quarterback, Larner, and this one snipped out beautifully. A gain of about a yard, but he had a lot of grass in front of him. That tackle's not made.
Yeah, that's one that you want to make sure if you get a hand on a guy coming through the hole there, you've got to be able to complete the play. And Jamari Mabry's been around this program long enough to know that. Watch him on the inside, number 95. Got a hold of him. You can't let him escape. And the Huskies losing a bucket out there with a helmet rolling down the side of the field. So
that's Brandon DeVries. Yeah, he has to come out, by the way.
For one play. So we'll see if Northern Michigan goes to attack his replacement. Let's see what the middle linebacker Hertel does right now. He's kind of moving down on the lower half of your screen.
Here's Larner, looks to his right, trying to get the edge converged on nicely. A couple of Wildcats able to snip that out. They tried to spread things out in Northern Michigan. That time around, Dave didn't have any of it.
Got support up there. Looked like they pushed the safeties a little further up into the box. And you can see that adjustment when they see 14 come off the bench and onto the field now. They're making sure that the defense is aware of who's going to be taking that snap. That's a great job on the outside there to stay with that ball by the defensive back for Northern Michigan, Jaquil Brown.
3rd and 10 as that actually lost a yard on the play. Here comes Nick Nora in motion to the near side. It's dropping straight back. And a nice screen. Here's Ruff out of the backfield. He's got the 1st down to the 20. He's at the 10. He's going to make it all the way in. Touchdown, Michigan Tech. And they open the second half on a 37-yard touchdown toss.
It's going to be a lot of yards after catch on that one, but it will go down as the first passing touchdown of Elliot Larner's career. And as I said, Jake Group was not really getting involved in the offense as much. Well, guess what? Sounds like the Tech coaching staff was listening and says, all right, we'll take care of that for you here. And a 27-3 lead with the extra point pending. That's a pretty impressive way to start the half.
And again, a couple of big plays for the Huskies. Kucharski to add on the extra point. Plant is good, kick is good. And we are going to step aside for just a moment. It is the Huskies kick when we come back. They lead at 28-3. You're watching college football this afternoon here on TV6. Well, you see the crew out to receive the kick here for Northern Michigan, and again, the hole just got a little bit deeper here at 28-3.
Chris Batley already with that 37-yard kick return. We'll see if the Huskies stay away from him and try to kick it more toward Ian Engstrom this time.
Bartley is out 89, and that is right where it's going. He's going to fair catch this one at the 2, and Wildcats take over on the 25-yard line. So we celebrated and acknowledged the 1975 championship team here for NCAA football. You're out of here quick to do something similar up back at home.
And you'll see it in 2 weeks when we put that together for the next installment of the Tech Northern hockey rivalry. Not our next rivalry broadcast. That'll be coming up with Volleyball on 60 on Thursday. But the 1975 National Championship Michigan Tech hockey team will be honored tonight at the McGinnis Student Ice Arena, and they'll be there to talk to some of my childhood heroes up there.
Boy, to be in the UP in 1975.
No kidding, right?
Inside handoff, Wood, and that's going to gain about a yard. And again, just trying to keep that interior line and that defensive front honest here, as Wildcats have been doing a lot of maneuvering on the perimeter here. And that's actually going to be a game of couple, so they gave him a good spot.
Well, Huskies have taken Wood away here.
Yes.
It's only his 5th carry of the game. If you'd like to see him with the ball in his hands a few more times.
Well, he's gotten some good runs, but they've been, again, on the outside. And when they've run option with him, it's gone fairly well. And again, it's Tarkov. Got his man, threw it behind him. And that had the potential for a big play right there. Tarkov just missed that one.
A quick little pop pass over the middle there. Looking for the tight end coming out of the side of the line, and just not able to make that connection there. It was behind him. Kind of a missed chance there for Lachlan Acker, who had some space and could have probably carried that for a little further if the completion was made.
Clock will stop at the incompletion here. 11:32 in this third quarter. Huskies have already had the ball third quarter and scored. And in motion far side, and again Tarkov. Pitch, here's Wood trying to get the outside. He's got 1 minute to try to get around the corner. He does. Up in the Wildcat bench. He is marked out of bounds for a first down.
Good speed there from Jai Wood to be able to make it to that corner and get out past the sticks and pick up an extra yard there too. Tarkov got smoked in the backfield. Good job to get that pitch away and just enough to get up the field, and got pushed out of bounds there by Michigan Tech's number 7, Chase Cope, his 9th tackle of the ball game. So
we saw Austin Riddle for Northern Michigan on the opening drive, and I was talking to some folks up here, pretty banged up still. And throwing, he's got the wheels. He's not a throwing option right now.
Well, he hasn't been healthy the whole season, and he's been fighting it the whole way along. So, just the fact that you have him available to do anything right now is a bonus. And the quarterbacks, Duke Chauvel's been struggling with that. Aiden Horde pretty much out for the season right now. So it's been a very difficult year to try to keep the quarterbacks healthy for Northern Michigan. And when you're on the option, you're always going to put your quarterback in harm's way like that.
Tarkov is a redshirt freshman out of Menominee. Engstrom on the catch here to the near side, and the speedster gets tracked down after a gain of about 4. Great coverage on the outside. And that's Terrence Martin comes up and make the play.
You could said his name a couple of times there. That's good speed to get to the outside, because Martin actually started that one on the far side of the field from where he normally is. But good job to get the block tackle down and make sure there's no extra yards gained after the catch.
Clock rolls under 10 minutes here at the Sperry Dome in Marquette. Kevin McNulty's on the sideline. He's Dave Ellis. Mark Evans, we appreciate you being here on this Saturday for the 2025 edition of the Miners Cup. Northern Michigan and Michigan Tech. Wildcats with the ball. Tarakov's going to toss. Round to the near side it goes. First down. No, maybe an yard shy, actually. Thought he had gotten to the stake, but he did not. They're going to mark him about a half a yard.
Well, I think they're going to give it to him.
They are now, okay. They will move the chains on the far side. It was right at the line to gain.
Dobert with a good job to just kind of lower his head there and actually jumped up on it into the air. And if he would have stayed lower, he might have gained a few more, but got enough no matter what. And the Wildcats advancing toward the midfield stripe.
Tarkov under center, split the backfield behind him. Inside handoff, nothing. You don't read that any better if you're Michigan Tech. And Ethan Hull got there first, big number 8. Make that Nolan shoot. wearing number 8. There's 2 number 8s on this, and I'm thinking a wide receiver probably did not make that play. So Nolan, scoop. And it's 2nd down and 11.
Middle of the line's been controlled very much by Michigan Tech. It's been the perimeter where Northern's found most of their success.
2nd down and long. Terkoff, late toss. Dobert left side. Again, that outside's been open for the Wildcats. Game about 7. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and much more manageable here. 3rd down and about 4.
We should mention the reason that the cat head is upside down in the field out there is a result of the Superior Dome Showdown game last year, the basketball game when Michigan State was here. They had some turf issues and couldn't get the carpet to roll back up. So creatively, all right, well, instead of buying a whole new one, let's just reverse it. So the north end of the field is now the south end of the field, and that means the cat, as we're looking at it, is upside down.
Tarkov again going to roll. Late pitch, he's got Wood, but there's 3 Husky defenders right there. Wood maybe the line of scrimmage. No, they're going to tell him a loss of a yard.
Porter Zeman with good pursuit there. When the pitch comes early, it's easier for that pursuit man to get out there and find the ball carrier. It's as late as you go, you want that quarterback with the ball in his hands on offense as long as you can possibly hold it. That was a very fast pitch there from Turkoff, and it gave a chance for Zeman to get out there and track it down.
The other thing, too, is when you're the quarterback on the option, you need to come straight down the line. And Terkoff's been arcing a little bit here, which is putting him deeper into the backfield, and that makes it a little bit easier to defend as well. Carlin is also the punter. That's Nick Knorr at the 10. And did he touch it? Doesn't matter. One of the Huskies did, and I think Northern Michigan may have fallen on it. They'll unpile everybody, but Northern Michigan says they got the football, and indeed they do. Our 2nd turnover of the ball game, but the only one so far actually in live action.
That is the break maybe that the Wildcats needed. I'm not sure if Nora touched it the first time when it went down there.
Second man definitely did.
Well, it may have been. Now, if you went back and looked at that, Northern Michigan's gunner might have touched the ball first, and that would make it go down right there. Whether Michigan Tech is willing to challenge or not, doesn't look like they are, but that was very close for Northern touching the ball first.
Terkoff at the 10, 1st and goal. Option left, Dobert. A little bit of a late pitch. Dave talked about that, but it's still a 5-yard gain. And the Wildcats just that much closer. Now, the last time they were in a situation like this here, Dave, they had the unfortunate side of that illegal forward pass.
Turkoff very cognizant of where he was and where he was putting that ball that time.
Terkoff under center. Now he'll look to the sideline. Clock in motion, 6.5, 3rd quarter. Wildcats again in the red zone, trailing 28-3. Terkoff option, right side. There's Wood. Got a block, cut straight in, and he's going to get the end zone. Touchdown, Northern Michigan. So they cash in on the turnover, and it's 28-10, or 28-9, rather, extra point coming.
What were you talking about with Jahai Wood? You wanted to see him on the perimeter a little bit more. That's why you want him out there. Not only is he fast enough to get to the corner, you need that little bit of extra power to get through that last tackler. Northern Michigan finally breaking the plane of the end zone.
Yeah, I think that interior running game, just Michigan Tech's just too good right in the interior part of the line. And that's been the difference. And Northern Michigan, to their credit, has been calling the plays to the outside. Here's Carlin once again, and he'll wrap that one up, and he got it. It is 28-10. We owe you a break. Interesting one here in the Dome. Timeout. You're enjoying college football this afternoon from the Superior Dome here on TV6. Northern Michigan taking advantage of the fumble. And they do punch it in from 10 yards out. Good look at Jai Wood. And like you said, strong enough to finish the play.
Technically only a 2-play, 9-yard drive, but if you add in the other half of it, really an 11-play drive on that one.
Short kick, and the Huskies allow this to go out of bounds. That's the second one of those we've seen today, so one aside. And it's the roulette continues. Who's going to jump out here? Is going to be number 7 or is going to be number 14 for Michigan Tech?
Well, as far as the half goes and the score goes, we'll quote Maxine Nightingale and say we're right back where we started from with an 18-point Michigan Tech lead.
Spoken by the guy that's going to a hockey game tonight.
Not on the bus, though. I won't make it look mean.
No, I already got Walt to do that.
You should. That's the right name.
Now, if you know, you know.
All right, so Larner will start it out again. Already 3 touchdowns on the ground for him and 1 through the air on the last drive.
Huskies scored the last time they had the football to start off this third quarter, and it'll be Larner looking. And he's going to throw across the middle. It is caught. And good for a first down. That Champney in his first grab of the game.
15 yards for him, and again, it's that in cut over the middle to start the drive. It's been pretty much a regular occurrence for Michigan Tech when they get the ball. They want that look over the middle of the field, and for a younger quarterback, you're not forcing him to throw further up the sideline and make those long passes that can be in danger. Good job by Champney to pull in one that was a little behind him and get a good gainer right to the midfield.
So here we go. Michigan Tech moving the football, movement all over the line. That's on Northern, so there's a free play here for the Huskies. Looking downfield, a little contact there. No flag on this. Complete down to the 10-yard line. That's a good no call down there at the 10, Dave. That could have gone either way.
Bryce Kearns with a great catch down there, and that was a pretty ball in the air from Larner.
First down.
So the encroachment call taken away. And Larner knew it was coming.
Yep.
Stepped into that throw. That's a great looking ball.
And that's a really smart play too, because some guys just stick with the play that was called. He got a free play, gunned it. And that made a huge, huge gain out of that first and goal, officially right at the 10-yard line. So Larner with a man moving. And they're going to misdirection this play. Smart call, touchdown Michigan Tech. And you couldn't have set that one up any better.
Jake Roof with his second score of the quarter.
Yep, 1 catching, 1 off the ground, but
I mean, I feel like I should be getting a cut right now
Yeah.
when I said they're not using him much, and all of a sudden he's the player.
They said that about him, said that about Wood.
Yep.
And again, Michigan Tech with that misdirection touchdown, a good-looking play. And the extra point to try and make it a 25-point difference. Through the uprights. Easy money right there. And again, 35-10.
Let's take you into the Wayback Machine again to 2001. And that year, Northern Michigan was protecting a 17-game win streak in the rivalry with very few close games on that list. But the Huskies got some good gadget plays. Kirk Forey, Brad Strable on the halfback pass. That one covering 63 yards for the touchdown, giving Michigan Tech an 8-point lead at the half. And from there, it was Joe Johnson taking over. This thundering run down the sideline accounted for 73 of his 231 yards on the day. Michigan Tech snapping that streak with a 33-28 win, but they didn't win the Miners Cup because it didn't exist until the next season.
I love the fact that you can find those old clips. I really do. I'm looking at all of that, and it's like, wow, look at that misdirection there as we come back to today's game.
Almost like a little counter tray there. And Roof taking advantage of a big gap, untouched.
Show you how long I've been doing this. My high school football coach, and many in the 80s, called that the cross buck.
I've heard that term before.
My radio partner for years, Greg Nelson, and I would joke about that old cross buck. It is going to be sent to the near side. And does it go out of bounds? Yes, it does. That is our third kickoff out of bounds here in this ball game.
Guys, part of my conversation with Dan Metlack before the game about the quarterbacks was a question, how deep is the bag? Well, he said it was standard going into a game without his starting quarterback and Alex Bueno, and I think he showed it off right there with that misdirection.
Play calling's been great.
Not bad on both sides.
Yep.
Again, it's been finishing that's been the big story. The Huskies have, and the Wildcats have not every time.
So Northern Michigan still with their work cut out for them. Tarakoff's going to stay in, run option left, late pitch. He gets it to Dobert out on the wing. Good coverage by Michigan Tech. They're giving up a couple of yards on this one, but that was a 30-yard play, it felt like, to get 2 or 3.
Well, Jaden Bolden had to respect that the corner was coming up there and he needed to accelerate quickly. The good news for him was coming back there, he had some support behind him. So you can sell out a little more going to that corner knowing that the cutback isn't going to be available for that guy heading out to the outside.
It's been pro set behind the quarterbacks exclusively here for NMU. Tarakoff, late pitch. He's got Dobert once again, got some speed to the near side, lowers his shoulder, gains about 4 or 5. And they'll keep the clock winding on 3rd down now and about 2.
Bolden's going to need some oxygen after this. He just made a tackle on the Michigan Tech sideline, and that one drove out on the Northern sideline. So he's been going side to side. And this is not an 8-man football field configuration. This is the full width.
Oh, yeah. Although the 8-player state championship games have been in here, and they've been wildly entertaining. If you ever get a chance to come watch one of those.
Still some great teams up here in the UP playing the 8-man version of the sport.
And more coming.
Yep.
So 3rd down and a pair. Reverse move for Tarakoff. He's got Dobert, a block on the far side. Great read by Michigan Tech. And they stuffed the play for no gain.
We've been talking about Porter Zeman and his pursuit to the outside today, and that was a perfect example. Just not allowing any kind of a move once it got out there, that full 270-degree spin. And you could see there wasn't any room because it's Bolden again that's on the outside. He forced the cut to come back to the middle of the field, and Zeman took it from there. Northern Michigan, this is desperation time. You've got to go for it on 4th down.
And you know coverage is good, Dave, defensively. When it looks like that play is going to go for 4, 5, or 6, it doesn't go for anything. Shane Richardson said he'd need to be aggressive when he needed to be, and he was, and it's going to get stoned. Maybe a yard on the game, but the Wildcats going to turn this over on downs. And again, that inside run game for Northern Michigan, Dave, just has not been there tonight.
Got to give full credit to the guys on the middle of that line for Michigan Tech. They have been on it the whole day. Just not giving anything up in there. So full credit, yeah. Look on the inside, the backup coming from Koch, but the middle of that defense in there, the D tackle Pierce Miller, the nose Connor Hindenach, they've just been rock solid in the middle of the field.
Huskies take over on downs. And it's going to be Hartley coming back in. And he's up ahead, and he's going to gain a good 7 yards. And some pushing and shoving over on the far side of the field.
You don't see a lot of quarterbacks that will lower the shoulder into a defensive player. And Luke Demiani probably looking up like, what just hit me? That was a quarterback? Watch Hartley like, all right, I'm just going to go right through you. Knocked him down, and you heard a big cheer from the Michigan Tech sideline when their guy does that.
Well, Hartley's 5'11", 185. And he checks out. Larner right back in. 2nd down and about 3. And it's Larner straight back, looking across the middle, deflected and knocked down. 3rd down here for Michigan Tech. And that's really the first time we've seen anything like that on the Wildcat defense.
Well, Jax Hertel had shown he was going to come up to the line, then dropped off into coverage. And he's got the wingspan to be able to get a hand up and into the passing lane. Watch number 0, the left-hand side of your screen, backpedaling, putting that right hand up there to knock that away, what could have been a pretty deep completion.
Anything positive on this play here, my friend? I'm going to guess we're in 4-down territory.
Potentially.
Spread the field, do the Huskies. Now the flow to man to the right side, and Michael Bailey's checked into the ballgame now.
It's Cameron Cornett that's back there with him.
And Larner looking ahead. escapes. He's got the first down. He's got a little bit more. And we talked about number 0 for Northern Michigan, Jack Sertel, a lot in this ball game. He makes the stop, makes the extra, probably a touchdown-saving tackle after gain of 11.
Larner not afraid to stick his nose into the pile there and get into traffic. Found a little seam, broke one tackle, then a second, and Hertel finally got him down, but not until the first down was in his back pocket. And Elliot Larner already over 150 yards rushing in this game.
I was thinking, too, one of the nice things, if you're a Michigan Tech fan, is they can take their time down here because there's very little need for speed, if you will, up by 25. Larner rolling right. End zone in the corner, and that just short hopped the receiver. There was some contact. They're going to let him play. And it'll be second down and long.
Murphy Monreal, good coverage back there on Nick Nora. Just never let him come back for the ball, but didn't make contact at the same time. That's very good defensive back play. You won't see till the tail end here, but Larner just didn't really have anything to throw to. And by the time Nick Nora was in the back corner of the end zone, crowded out of it by Monreal. Good job.
Stops the clock with a minute 33 to go here in this third quarter. We're at the Dome in Marquette, 2025 edition of the Miners Cup. Northern Michigan and Michigan Tech. Larner, give. Not a whole lot of room there, but enough to make it third down and short. And again, that's Cornett on the carry.
Cornett, just a freshman from Onalaska, Wisconsin.
Over by Lacrosse.
I was thinking you were going to chime in on that.
Do you want to know what their fight song is?
I always do.
On
Alaska. All right.
Can't make that stuff
Kind
up.
of like on Tanagan, right?
Exactly. Third down and about 5 here for Michigan Tech, and they now will look over to the bench. Still 10 on the play clock rather. And Larner's got what he wants with 49 seconds to go in the quarter. They'll run that reverse again, and that went nowhere. They tried to get it through to Cameron Cornett, and the big freshman ran into Mitch Larkin. And that, I think, is what they call, Dave, a stick.
That's how you plant a back. Kind of lost his footing coming in there to Cornett and never recovered it after Mitch Larkin took over.
Well within Kucharski's range here. This is going to be a 37-yard attempt. And the clock goes in motion, and the play clock and the game clock are about a half a second off of one another.
They will have to snap the ball here, unless they're going to call a timeout. Well, they're going to
They are going to allow the quarter to expire. All right, 35-10. Michigan Tech will switch ends, and looks like we're kicking a field goal when we come back. College football this afternoon. You're enjoying it right here on TV6. Back at the Superior Dome, and on 4th down, they will not kick the field goal. Michigan Tech brings her back out there at the quarterback position.
Last time on 4th down, he ran for 60 yards and a touchdown.
He'll stay pistol here at the Northern Michigan 20-yard line. Straight back, straight up the middle he goes, and like Shane Richardson said, going into halftime when 14's in, you know they're going to run. He escapes, and he is in for Michigan Tech from 20 yards away, and it is 41-10.
Your 4th down efficiency tends to look pretty good when you can get plays like that. How about this for Elliott Larner, too? He actually just improved his per carry average, which going into that play was 12.6 per attempt. And that one was even further. We are looking at a historic day. He could conceivably get to 200 yards rushing.
Now they'll put Avery Kucharski out there. And he will rip it through, and it is good. And it is a 42-10 lead here for Michigan Tech. We'll break real quick here at the Superior Dome. Huskies will kick off when we come back. You're enjoying college football this afternoon here on TV6. Michigan Tech extends to 42-10. It's Batley back here for Northern Michigan, the escape artist that is Mr. Larner here. His numbers are through the roof.
13 carries, 172 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an average of 13.2 per carry.
Well, this time it is going to be Jalen Houston wearing number 3. He's in his end zone, and he's going to get knocked down at about the 12-13 yard line, stop the clock on the change of possession. And Northern Michigan with a lot of real estate in front of them to have to navigate.
Well, Tarkov has only rushed the ball 1 time in this half. Northern Michigan's had to change the attack to try to get some points a little bit quicker, and you got to think the absolute miracle would happen. You'd have to score here and score quickly. So if you're down 32 right now, that's 4 possessions and 4 2-point conversions.
And they're going to shift it up on you here, my friend. That is Austin Riddle taking over at quarterback, the kid from right here in Marquette,
who played for Michigan Tech to start his career.
Yes.
He's the only Wildcat on the roster who has won the Miners Cup.
He is an option pitch here. That is Wood. And all of that is going to get about a 3-yard gain. And again, great pursuit by the men in the white jerseys here today.
Riddle, a good job there to wait till the late pitch, but the Huskies had pushed up, and good job on the outside by Stamps to stamp his authority onto that tackle.
Wildcats in their own end. Austin Riddle now going to run option himself, keep it this time. And he will fall forward in a decent gain, making it 3rd and quite manageable at 3rd and 2. But like you said here, David, I mean, this offense, this style of offense is effective in moving the ball, but you need chunks now.
This is why you'd want Aiden Horde or Duke Chauvel available right now, because they're the quarterbacks with the bigger arms when you get into this situation. Riddle and Turcoff, much more running based.
Inside handoff, and for the first time, that option on the attack is successful for the first time in a while. Gains about 4 yards, and Northern Michigan get a little further out from underneath their own goalpost.
I'm just looking at the numbers for Dober, who's been the primary ball carrier with 21 of the day for 88 yards. That's great if you're trying to control the clock, but right now you're fighting against it, and you've got to find ways to get out. Engstrom is the only one with more than one catch. He's got it for 8 yards, and the Wildcats only have 21 through the air.
Austin Riddle going to get ripped down there, a gain of about 4, and out to the 30-yard line. And the clock continues to roll here in Marquette. So Tarkov's going to step back in. In a redshirt freshman is Trevor Tarkov out of Menominee. He drops straight back. Had time for a moment, going to try and get out of there, won't make it. Back to the original line of scrimmage, perhaps. Great pursuit by Michigan Tech.
Joey Donahue was the one who wouldn't let him go. I think if Tarkov would have pulled that down a little bit earlier, there was a lot of room out here on the sideline in front of the NMU bench, but just a little bit of hesitation there, waiting for something to develop down the field, and that allowed the pursuit to get him from the back, and Donahue put him down.
So third and a little trouble here at 3rd down and 8. Tarkov again under center, going to send a man in motion that to the right side, and they're going to flare this out to that man who went in motion. That is going to be Dobert, and it's going to be 4th down, and boy, it's your own 31-yard line. I don't know if you got any choice. I almost have to kick this one away. But at this stage of the game with 11:43 to go and down 32, they don't have, they're going to send the punt unit out there. Thought for a moment, but try and, I don't know, maybe have the same thing happen the last time you punted, and that's Michigan Tech actually mopped the punt.
Well, the Miners Cup is over sitting with Michigan Tech Athletic Director Suzanne Sandergret. And she will be the one to present it at the end of the quarter with the rugby-style kick through the middle.
And Nick Norris going to come up here and get this one at the 45-yard line, crosses midfield, straight up the gut he goes, cuts the edge, and Nick Norris going to do it and take this one the distance for Michigan Tech. That's a 59-yard punt return for a touchdown, and they're throwing gas on the fire here in the Superior Dome.
Well, the last time didn't go so well for him. This one did. Nick Nora with a full recovery on this. The rugby style hopped up, and there were players all around him. But Nick Nora, he can get ahead of steam going, and he got that at max speed when he picked up the ball, and he was gone.
That's one of the problems with that rugby style kick, is your guys are still going downfield. They're not knowing where the ball is. And Nick Nora just stepped up, and pretty much everybody was facing that end zone as he was going to the other end zone. We'll take a break with 11:01 to go. Michigan Tech 49-10. It is time for a break in the Dome. We're back in just a moment here. You're enjoying college football on TV6. Now, the previous punt, Nick Nora was a part of a muff that led to a Northern Michigan touchdown, and yeah, that kind of makes up for it here. And as we noticed, a lot of the players were facing that wall of fame behind Nick Nora, and he made a couple of cuts and found himself a seam, and that's easy money when you got the speed of him.
He even got to shut it down at about the 10-yard line and coast into the end zone. He was so fast getting away. Great play by Nick Nora.
Kick is a high end over end, and that'll be a fair catch at the 2-yard line. And Northern Michigan will take over here. 11:01 here in this Miners Cup game in Marquette today.
Enjoyed band day at halftime with all the high school bands joining the NMU marching band out there.
And it was exactly as I said it was going to be. Loud.
It was very loud.
close to 900 total musicians, flaggers, directors.
And with one rehearsal together this morning, they nailed it.
Oh, they did.
It was great.
A lot of fun with that one here. So Northern Michigan now. That's Austin Riddle that back at quarterback. He took a shot as he was handing the ball off. That'll keep the clock rolling here as they handed it off. And getting that is Noah Dobert. But he gains a couple here. And that clock continues to roll here in Marquette. I know Dave's happy about that. You want to get on the road.
Dobert inching up toward that 100-yard mark.
He's been consistent. That's the big thing about him.
Not a lot of explosives.
No, but always forward progress. Unlike this one where Austin Riddle's going to get wrapped up by a couple of his former teammates and a loss of a play on about a yard or two. And that's going to bring Terkoff back in, number 9. Austin Riddle had that big touchdown run against Northwood earlier this year. But like you said, I mean, health for him has been a thing all year.
It has been for the whole room.
Yeah.
They haven't had a quarterback really come out of a week clean yet that played in a game.
Well, Terkoff's under center. Rolls to his right, looking for a screen to the near side, and there's nobody there, and that was more self-preservation than anything else.
Yeah, the number that turned around there, I'm looking at the ball in the air.
68 or something.
Dan Babcock is the one who's there. He's an offensive lineman, so he clearly was trying to keep his hands as far down toward his sides as possible, saying, I'm not the intended receiver here, to get the penalty called on him.
So Carlin will come out, and shaking things up now, Michigan Tech is Jackson Lippert to return the kick. Say, Nick, you got yours. We'll see if Jackson can do the same thing. A sophomore out of Wixom. And this is an end-over-end kick that's going to bounce, and the Huskies going to just get away from this one. And they'll take over at their own 35-yard line, stop the clock, and the change of possession. 9:28 to go.
Let's take you back to a blustery day in November of 2002 up in Houghton, when these two schools first did something that's now commonplace in the rivalry, play for the Miners Cup, and that is Dan Metlack, the starting quarterback for Michigan Tech that day, threw for over 200 yards in the game and found his top threat Brad Strable twice for touchdowns. Wildcats were 6-2, Huskies are 2-6, but that great day by Dan Metlack meant that the first Miners Cup ever was presented to Michigan Tech with a 34-13 win. If they can pull it off today, and it looks like they will, that will be 20 of the first 23 presented in the rivalry and 15 in a row.
Give near side, not going anywhere on that time for the offense of Michigan Tech, and the Huskies have brought in a different quarterback from the looks of things.
I mean, it's gone pretty well bringing new guys in today all day. Pat Kastner got that last carry. He lost his footwear, so he'll come off the field to get that straightened out.
Well, the 8s that I have, one's a wide receiver, one's a defensive lineman, and now we got one at quarterback. And for the first time all day, we are going to get a sack of a Michigan Tech quarterback. The money's got to be on that Ethan Hall. There you go. PA agrees with me, unless they're listening in to us. Didn't realize we were such trendsetters, but we'll go with that.
Well, it's been a pretty good day for Elliott Larner.
Yeah.
Joe Hartlieb has done his part as well, 6 for 9 and 99 yards passing. And also 3 rushes for Hartlieb for 32. So you would have thought that'd be semi-productive for the guy who started the game, but Elliott Larner has been the story here today.
It is 3rd down and 14 now for Michigan Tech. Really their first 3rd and long here of the ball game. Ball straight back and throw a little screen here to the near side. A couple of green jerseys are there and getting away and into some open territory is Kastner. He's going to be shy of the first down, and it looks like Michigan Tech has a decision to make, and they've made it. They're going to kick it away.
There's not been a lot of punts here for the Huskies today. In fact, this will just be their 2nd one. First one wasn't bad, 44 yards.
Connor Byram out of Gaylord will kick to Ian Engstrom, who's back at his own 20-yard line.
Gaylord having a great year in high school football this year.
Northern with a little bit of pressure, not much. Engstrom's going to just let this one hit. Wildcats scatter from it. And we'll stop the clock as the Wildcats take over at the 19-yard line. 42 on the kick. That's about average here in this ball game for both these teams. At halftime, I think Northern was 47 or so, and it's 45 for Michigan Tech, so right about where you want to be there.
There haven't been a ton of punts in the game, and we've moved along pretty quickly.
Yeah, this second half's gone real good and quick.
Kevin McNulty will be talking to the winning team on the field after the Miners Cup is presented at the tail end of our ball game here today. The last time it happened here, Mark Evans, the Northern band wanted to play as long as they could so that the Huskies count that they do when they get the Miners Cup was inaudible to the rest of the stadium.
Gain of a yard. And I'm running through something in my mind because this is going to be 15 straight for the Miners Cup. Other side of that, Northern Michigan had a long winning streak in this series.
17.
But that was stretched out over like 35 years.
Yes.
Because they were not in the same conference for many years.
It was actually over 7 different presidential administrations because they were not consecutive. But yeah, the streak record in the rivalry is 17.
They look for Engstrom. He took a shot there at the 42-yard line. It's incomplete, and it'll be 3rd down and 10.
Name the presidents, Dave. I'm anxiously awaiting.
Washington, Madison. Oh, no.
Well, if we count backward, the last one would have been Bill Clinton. Okay. So you've got Clinton, H.W. Bush, Reagan, Carter, Ford, Nixon, Johnson.
Bang.
Something like that. Maybe it was 9 because I think it went further back than that. It would have been all the way back to the Eisenhower administration. I think the last
Kennedy's in there too.
Yeah, the last Michigan Tech win was in the 50s, so it would have actually been
Eisenhower.
9 and not 7. So you would have been. You like Ike? I like Ike. Everybody likes Ike.
Here's the thing. I don't think Kevin thought you could do that. That you'd pull that one off.
Backward presidential naming is. If you get a little further down, I'm not going to get to it. Like the Taylors and Tylers and
Roosevelts and all that.
Oh, Roosevelt's I can get to. It's when you get back in the 1800s, it's not quite as clear.
It'll be Carlin to kick, has the pass incomplete at the far sideline, 6:34 to go. And with very few punts in this ball game up until this 4th quarter, we've had one right after the other here. As the feeling of this game here, Dave, in a lot of ways has really slowed down. And it should at 49-10.
Yeah, I think both sides have pretty much accepted what the result is going to be now. So for either team, I don't think you necessarily want to show anything more on tape to your next opponents either.
No, so, and you really don't want to do anything crazy because you still risk injury every play in this game. You know, and that's true of everybody that's out there. So you want to make sure that you're taking things not lightly, but making sure that you're keeping things where they need to be. Checking in on the line, Grant O'Brien, 6'6", 350 out of Goodrich. That is a large young man.
I get to pull a nickname on you. That's one of your favorites, remember? The Goodrich Martians.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Timeout for an injured defensive player.
And we thankfully have not had a whole lot of this today, and this comes at the tail end of this 4th quarter.
Well, Kevin McNulty's been wandering over on the sidelines over there. What's the feel on either side? I'm not sure. Where are you right now? Are you on the northern sideline or the Tech sideline?
I just crossed back over to the northern sideline, spent the entire second half to this point on the Tech sideline, and yeah, the vibes are pretty good. One of the interesting things that Ethan Champney told me about Elliot Larner is that was kind of the plan for Hartlieb to be there as kind of the veteran support, and all but 6 of his total yards in this game, I'm talking about Hartlieb, those came in the first half. So they really kind of let Larner do what he did today once they knew that as a true freshman, he could handle it.
That's looking like a right knee injury for Northern Michigan's lineman, number 70.
That's Jack Malosh.
Yep.
And another red shirt freshman out of Grand Rapids. And you see that a lot with Shane Richardson's roster. Red shirt freshman, red shirt sophomore. Not a lot of older guys on this team right now. So they are building the foundation, but having to do so with some very, very young men here. It is 2nd down and 6, they'll officially call it. Hall's going to give. Left side on the carry is Michigan Tech. And time to get the specs out and talk about Samuel Delgado, as he's got the carry. Little ways from home, 5'10", 190 out of San Antonio. Keeps the clock rolling, and that's the thing right now. Just got to keep this going here. Michigan Tech goes down and does it again. They go down and do it again, but I think more importantly here is get this final 5:35 off the clock, pretty much for both these teams. Hall going to go for it down the sideline, and a little bit of a jostle between the two there, but again, no contact and no flags fly in. That's going to bring up 4th down and a yard. Situation like this here, Dave, you're up 49-10, 4th and a yard. Pretty obvious what you can do here. So Hull on 4th and a yard. Give inside. I don't think he got it.
He didn't. Unless he gets a very generous mark, and he did not. That was right on the money.
Actually may have lost a yard.
Yep.
So again, on the carry again, Samuel Delgado. And Northern Michigan will take over on downs. First time for them here today. Well, it's pretty much all done with the exception of the presentation.
Trophy making its way down there shortly. You'll see it. You'll hear it. Whether the band tries to play along with it or not.
Well, they've got some help. There's 20 high school bands here to help them out.
They do. I don't know that they've rehearsed that part. But Kevin McNulty will be right out there with them, and you'll hear the count.
Austin Riddle, and he will move up field. Flag flew, but they let the play go. Gain of about 8. Offside will be declined.
Offside, defense number 51. That penalty is declined, 2nd down.
Officiating crew was busy in the first half, not so much here in the second half.
They've kept it moving pretty well today. And again, it's a very busy part of the year for our rivalry coverage. Volleyball in 60 comes your way on Thursday. Oh, wow.
As breaking free is Noah Hoffman, a sophomore out of Kaukauna, Wisconsin, one of the former Galloping Ghosts.
That's right. Well, there were 2 defensive players that were on top of Austin Riddle there, thinking that he had the ball. So that was a good fake there for the Marquette product.
Trying to get his receiver on that far side to move out a little bit further. That's Sebastian Boyer.
Ball's loose.
It is, and it's kicked there by Northern Michigan. They're just going to try and track it down. It goes out of bounds. It'll stay with the Wildcats, but they lost a good 7, 8, 9 yards on that.
So before Austin Riddle and his teammates rudely interrupted me there, next Thursday,
Yes.
7 o'clock on Fox UP, it's volleyball in 60. You'll see all the best action from the Spikers match on Tuesday night at the Vanderman. And it's 2 weeks from yesterday when we dropped the puck on our Tech Northern hockey coverage for the year. And it will be a great one this year with 2 teams with some new players and some exciting play out there. It's going to be one to look forward to.
Riddle on the give to the inside as they try and get it back to the original line of scrimmage, and the clock just continuing to tick, tick, tick here. That's Hoffman once again. And he almost got back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 11 now. So Riddle takes a look here. And stays in under center. Late pitch, that missed everybody once again. Big guy going to try and scoop and score. We've had everything else. And this is going to go for a Michigan Tech touchdown. Scoop, score at Brady Isaacson.
Yep.
We have seen a little bit of everything. Scoop scoop and score, a punt return. The only thing we haven't seen is pick 6 here tonight.
I mean, we got 3 minutes, but I'm not thinking that's going to end up on the schedule. The pitch was just wayward. I don't think that Austin Riddle was really reading the back's travel there the way that he needed to. And that one just went into open space.
Kucharski might be the leading scorer in the ball game at this rate.
Oh no, not over Larner.
Oh, I know. But he's had ample opportunity to practice his craft as he puts another one through here, and it is all of a sudden 56-10.
All right, so let's take a look at this and see what happened on Riddle's pitch. It was bobbled, and Isaacson was there to pick it up. He just went off the defense.
Yeah.
He went off the lineman. It hit the back of number 77 for Northern Michigan, Tom Kellen. And Isaacson took advantage and had a whole host of buddies to bring him into the end zone with an escort. That was almost a Nestea plunge there at the end. Like a trust fall? Why not? We haven't seen that yet either.
Haven't seen that yet either.
So they're going to credit that one as a 59-yard return for a touchdown.
What's that old saying there, partner, when it rains?
That's why you're in a dome, so it doesn't pour, right?
Jalen Houston back again for Northern Michigan, along with Chris Batley. Kucharski's going to need a rub down.
Maybe an extra ice bag.
An extra ice bag when this one's over here. And this will be fair caught once again at the 2-yard line. Very consistent for Michigan Tech on the kickoffs here.
You know, the margin of victory is going to be pretty big. Not as big as a couple of years ago here, but that one felt inevitable. This one feels almost circumstantial.
Yes.
That it's a lot closer than a 46-point gain right now.
Think about the first half.
Yep.
3 red zone visits for Northern Michigan, 1 field goal.
Yep.
2 missed field goals.
A touchdown called back.
Touchdown called back. You had what looked like a for sure touchdown and just a phenomenal defensive play by Michigan Tech. And that whole first quarter could have been a very, very different thing. And we talked a little bit ago about the youth of this Northern Michigan team, and that's unfortunately when your youth shows. And finding the end zone, it's tough when you got those young guys out there. Yeah, they got their first win last week against Roosevelt. And that felt great, but they're still not at the point yet in Northern Michigan where they know how to win. And that comes with time.
Just saw the stairwell door open
Oh,
and
yeah.
the Miners' Cup being delivered down to the field by Suzanne Sandergret.
Terekoff, toss, far side, first down, and that'll be out to about the 42-yard line of the Wildcats here.
And that is a 13-yard gain. It is the longest passing play for Northern Michigan today.
That's the tight end, Joe Mueller.
Turkoff's numbers throwing the ball 6 of 13 for 24 yards.
And the catch on the near sideline. Did he hold on? He sure did. And Engstrom with the grab.
Picked up 9 more there.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
Well, a lot of fun last night over at the Barry Event Center. And
That was a good time.
And like we said, I mean, this game, it doesn't feel 56-10. It was, that first half was wildly entertaining.
Well, Kevin McNulty, who have you got lined up down there that we'll be hearing from at the end of the game, since I'm sure you've already started stacking your dance card?
Well, maybe the guy that had 5 touchdowns in this game, Elliot Larner, the true freshman, lined up to talk to him. We'll see if I can grab Nick Nora, too, to talk about his special teams touchdown. How about that? The Huskies have scored in all 3 phases of this game.
Feels like there was a 4th phase. They'd find a way to score there, too.
They just haven't kicked a field goal.
They haven't. You're right.
And we didn't get a pick 6 either side.
Are we getting greedy? Is it?
We're just pointing out the obvious, I thought. Wildcats moving the ball here. And here's Terekoff. Right side rolling, looking, sideline, had a man there, threw it out of bounds. And once again, that's Ian Engstrom.
Engstrom with a great little move to jump over the rope and jump back there, too.
Well, he was not only a great receiver for Paul Jacobson at Negaunee, outstanding track runner.
Must have been a hurdler, right?
Many things.
Well, he certainly did it well there.
Yeah, but you don't jump hurdles the way he jumped the rope.
Yeah, that's true.
At least I would hope not. Stop the clock on the incompletion. Here it is, 2nd down and 10. Tarakoff straight back. Got a little bit of protection. Comes near side. He overshot everybody. You go this way, I'll go that way. He missed the bottle cap and the rock at the side of the parked car in the street.
Yeah, there were 2 guys kind of in that area, and the ball went right between the 2 of them. We got a flag in the backfield, too.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 94. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Not sure what happened at the tail end there, but
don't think
Brendan
there was
Keel.
anything physical. That was probably more of a, hey, we're taking the Miners Cup back to Houghton with us, with a little bit sharper edge to it than the way that I just said it.
I can probably buy
how's that for a diplomatic way of putting what probably happened out
I can buy that.
But the funny thing is, and we do this a lot as announcers and broadcasters, we forget that these are kids.
Yeah.
We really do, especially at the high school level. We forget that these are kids. They're 23, 24-year-old kids.
That's just because we keep getting older and they stay the same age. Right?
Don't go sharing the secrets. Because next time I gotta have to call them grandkids, and I don't want to do that.
If we keep doing this long enough to do that, I'll be very impressed.
I feel like I'm already there some days, to be honest with you, but that's all right. This has been a lot of fun. And we appreciate you hanging out with us here on a Saturday afternoon. Tarakoff spins out of harm's way. White jersey's coming after him, looking, waiting, floats it, and did he get out of the pocket is the question. I believe he did.
Well, the pursuit was coming from Joey Donahue and just couldn't wrap him up. Got hands on him in the backfield. And Tarakoff, good job to escape and not take the big loss. There would have been more than 10 yards had he been taken down back there around the 45.
Well, Tarakoff again, 2 receivers to the right as you see, one right there in your living room at the bottom of the screen. Tarakoff hit as he throws, and it is caught at the 23-yard line. Shy of a first down, but this is manageable. No, they're going to give him the first down. They're going to spot him forward of the chains. So the Wildcats move the ball. More importantly, for the Huskies, the clock's going to roll again, and they're up 56-10. Nice comeback for the ball. And again, that's Jack Dussault, kid from Munising. Under a minute to go. Tarakoff, pressure coming, steps up. All kinds of time, now pointing and spending people away and out to the sideline, and that will stop the clock because under 2 minutes, they go back to the old rules. .46 and a second down here for Northern Michigan. Trying to get some positive something or other heading into next week's game.
A quick bit of research here, Mark. Second most points ever that Michigan Tech has scored against Northern Michigan, and this makes a total of 118 in the last 2 meetings here.
That's Engstrom, and he's got the touchdown for Northern Michigan. A little something to celebrate there for the freshman from Negaunee.
Got a great future here. Just a good lob pass out there from Tarakoff. There wasn't a lot on it, but he put just enough underneath. And the defensive back wasn't able to make up the ground there.
Well, he got away from Dakota Blackwell, who didn't give up on the play, but kind of turned left when he should have turned right. If he had turned right, would have been much more of a factor on the play. But Carlin will kick the extra point here. And it's through. And it is 56-17. Great look from the quarterback, Tarakoff. Ian Engstrom.
Well, if I know Braxton Blackwell, the older brother of Dakota's going to be getting a phone call later. You know, you can't just give up on that play.
I don't think he did. I think he turned left when he should have turned right.
There is that.
And I was a DB in practice.
More in theory, right?
It was either me or the tackling dummy.
Okay.
So that's about as far as it went.
So yeah, previously the second highest point total after the last one would have been 51 in that double overtime thriller here back in 2016. The Huskies have now won, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive. This will be the 8th straight game that they've won in the Superior Dome. It's pretty impressive.
Carlin to kick. And a whole quadre of new names and numbers to share with you for both these teams. Carlin approaches, just a little pooch kick. Now remember, that's a live ball. The Huskies able to grab it.
Call it a fair catch.
Did he?
You can do that.
I didn't see it, that's all I'm saying. It didn't look like he did.
Somebody did.
I thought they were going to chat with us. They didn't. So they'll be at the 35-yard line.
Please reset the game clock to 39 seconds. There was a fair catch signal other than the returner. Play is dead. First down, Michigan Tech.
Remember, that was a penalty?
Yep.
Used to be a penalty. If you called the fair catch and somebody else caught it.
Yep. That's the new kickoff rules.
Kids today, right? Oh, there's like 5 guys calling for a fair catch right there. All right. I was looking at the guy that was near the ball. Everybody else was calling for the fair catch. Here's Hull. He is going to get tripped up. He keeps his feet. Guns it near sideline. It is broken up. And incomplete with 30 seconds to go. I like the fact that they're really giving Ethan Hull a chance to move the football.
I mean, if you don't get many opportunities
No.
to have this kind of mop-up time.
You'll
live
get
game.
this in practice, but
Right.
and I don't care if it's 56-17. A live game like this is a whole different ball game from practice.
Well, these two teams should prove to you, you've got to have multiple players ready at quarterback. So anytime you can get some live action experience, it's going to be valuable.
Huskies will run it, and that will probably be the final play of the game. They reset the play clock, reset that, and the game clock's going to roll, and there's going to be your final at 56-17 Michigan Tech.
Well, the Huskies will come and shake hands with the Wildcats, and we'll be back for the presentation of the Miners Cup
At the end of the game.
right after this.
Michigan Tech Athletic Director Suzanne Sandberg now present the Miners Cup to the captains of the Michigan Tech Huskies.
Here they come, and the Miners Cup is now in the hands of the Michigan Tech Huskies. And we await the count that's become the tradition.
15 consecutive victories in this rivalry for the team from Houghton. And that's a big win for Michigan Tech after coming off some disappointment last week because they played fair as well.
They did. And they sent a message, I think, here today to the rest of the GLIAC that we're going to be a force to be reckoned with, whether we have our starting quarterback or not. You got to feel pretty good if you're Dan Metlack that your second and third string guys have come in and performed the way that they did today.
So our own Kevin McNulty is down on the field kind of weeding through all of those white jerseys. He had a bullseye on a couple of them. He's easy to see because he's wearing that royal blue inside of all those white jerseys. Now he got smothered up by the guys that are a lot bigger than him. Here we go, and he has got with him a couple of the Huskies. Kevin, go right ahead, please.
Yeah, guys, here with a couple of the offensive stars, well, special team stars maybe, Nick. Elliot, you're a true freshman. You had taken just a couple of snaps before this game coming in. How were you able to play with the confidence that you played with today?
It's all about the guys around me. They make me feel welcome, but it's always that next man mentality. So I'm always ready to make a play.
Yeah, and you pounce on your opportunity here with 4 touchdowns on the ground and then a passing touchdown as well. What made it easy for you to come up with those big yards, especially twice on 4th down?
It starts with the guys up front. I can't do it without them, so props to them, but none of my plays happen without them, so I'm giving everything to them.
Congrats on the win. As I bring in Nick here, and Nick, you're from Kingsford. You know what this game means to the UP, and you being a Michigan Tech Husky, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, ever since I was a kid, I've been coming to these games, and when I committed to this university, this was when I was always stapled on my calendar. So yeah, I just know it's a big game for our program, for our alumni, and I'm happy we could come out with another win.
Big day for you and obviously the whole team. You guys score in all 3 phases, but take me through the punt return and what happened, ball bouncing all over the place.
Yeah,
right?
I had a tough one a couple plays before, so I told the guys I had to go get one back. So yeah, I just bouncing. I took a little candy hop, so I pounced on it, and I was able to make a few guys miss and finish in the black.
All right, go celebrate. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Mark, Dave, back to you guys upstairs.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Yeah, great job as always down on the sidelines. And we get our final shot of the Superior Dome here, Mr. Dave. And you and I aren't done spending quality time together because this rivalry continues not only this coming week, but like you said, we're going to be back playing hockey real quick.
Volleyball next week, hockey in 2 weeks. Seems like it's that time of year, Mark Evans. Here we go again. Tech Northern taking center stage in the UP, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
That is going to be the fastest ride home for a football team you've seen in a long, long time, as I know the Michigan Tech Husky football team anxious to get home for the place you're going here in a little bit, as Michigan Tech will celebrate their 1975 national championship in hockey under John McGinnis. So, unless you got something else to add over there, let's get you on the road.
Wrap it up.
All right, Kevin McNulty, he's Dave Ellis, and our entire TV6 crew. Appreciate you coming along here. Michigan Tech big in the rivalry series. Mark Evans, thanks for coming along here. You've been enjoying college football here this afternoon on TV6.